Good evening, my moody miscreant muskrats of the molligating internet. I think I just made up the word molligating. Malignant? Malignant would be a better word. Malignant is just evil. Molligating, that should be a fun word. Molligate. Somebody tell me if that's a real word or if I just made it up. And if I made it up, please give me credit for it. Please quote me in your obituary saying that molligation is a word that Saros made. As a matter of fact, go ahead and figure out if somebody is actually passing away. Go look up obituaries in your area. Go up and talk because nobody knows who that person knew throughout their entire life. Go ahead and say, you know, Saros made a new word yesterday, and then play my video over the screen and then put my face on the photo of the person at the funeral to let them know that I'm going to ego them and son them and little boy them, because that'd be funny. I think if you just do funny stuff like that forever and everybody just starts trolling, we can get insanity pretty much normalized until we start outclassing the original insane people. So when insanity has to peak up, and then we can get a new baseline for insane people, and then we can actually start getting a lot more mental health to be diagnosed correctly, because if everybody's insane, then no one is. What does Syndrome say? If no one's super, no one will be. That'd be fantastic, but we're not here to talk about my future plans for world domination and getting the world to go a little bit crazy. Joker, baby. We're here to talk about Am I the A-hole? For what exactly? Oh, for refusing to serve guests at my mom's wake. Huh? What's it? Just based off the title, I want to talk about the title alone. I went to a funeral recently and they had Chick-fil-A just catered by Chick-fil-A, and that was really fun. I was like, whoa, this is great. This homophobic chicken hitting crazy. I was eating it because I was hungry and starving, and someone came up to me and said, "You're eating Chick-fil-A at the funeral?" I said, "Yeah, there's like a spread of food." And then she said, "Oh, I didn't realize there's a spread here, but it's Chick-fil-A, so you know they're not good." I said, "Okay, I mean the food tastes crazy. I'm gonna eat Chick-fil-A." She said, "Oh, you don't support gay people?" I said, "I mean, I don't support myself in most things that I do. I'm pretty gay and I'm eating this sandwich." And then they said, "You're just a bigot." I said, "I suppose so." And then I proceeded to enjoy the hell out of that sandwich. I don't know. I was starving. I'm not gonna starve myself for that little moment. Anyways, I didn't know funerals could be catered for a long time. It was really cool to discover that. Actually, and I guess it may ruin somebody's appetite if somebody doesn't want to eat around a dead body, but they would want me to eat. I feel like they would want me to eat this sandwich, I feel. Anyways, let's go crazy. I'm a teenager, and I lost my mom recently to cancer. I'm sorry you lost your mom. Sorry about that. During the wake, I mostly just wanted to sit quietly and grieve. My voice just cracked. That was crazy. And I completely understand you just want to sit quietly and grieve. You're a teenager, you just lost your mom. Horrifying moment. Whenever visitors came, my grandmother would tell me to serve them food and drinks. I think grandma needs to be next. Oh my god, that's crazy to say. I think grandma needs to be next. That's insane. What do you mean? Why would you even consider doing that? Who cares? That's insane. You just lost your mother. Why would you serve people drinks and food? Doesn't make any sense at all. That's insane. That is actually diabolically nonsensical. I understand that this is a way to show respect and appreciate the people who took their time to attend. No, time to attend. But it's someone's death. This is the last time you get to see somebody. I know you guys were busy, but someone died. Figure out how to make it there, dude. If you care about the person at all, figure out how to make it to the last time you're ever gonna see them. I'd figure that out. However, I really didn't feel emotionally capable of doing that at the given moment. Yeah, no one would. That's an insane request. That's a really ridiculous request. Who would require to do that? It's crazy. It happened a lot, but this one specific time. One time when guests arrived, my grandmother again told me to serve them. I told her I didn't want to and didn't do it. It just laid my head back on the table and brushed her off. She seemed upset, and I felt guilty afterwards because she's older, and I just brushed her off and I made her do it, which I still feel bad about. Okay, if the grandma wants to serve people, if she wants to serve people, she can serve as much as she wants to. As a matter of fact, she can serve them in the court Harlem Globetrotter status. She can go basketball, go crazy, hit a three-pointer shot, half-court shot. She can serve as many people as she wants to. She can go to a rap battle and serve as she wants to. She can go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant and then serve him and have him critique her, and then she can serve him again as a better restaurant, because that's how Kitchen Nightmares works, and hopefully that can increase the rating of the restaurant and get her a Michelin star. She can serve as much as she wants to. She can serve somebody on the dance floor. She wants to learn how to dance, but the fact that she wants you to serve and impose her will upon you is insane. You still deserve respect even as a teenager, as a younger person. You don't have to automatically respect somebody just because they're older. Well, that's the problem with society nowadays. You don't respect your elders. Elders don't inherently deserve respect, because you can be wise with age but still a dumbass. Older people voted for Trump. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's what happened. Hell, I'm not gonna be nice to you just because you have an older tenure in life. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because more than likely you probably made decisions that ruined our economy. I'm not gonna trust you. You're not getting my toys and you're not getting my respect over that. That's insane. That's insane. Anyways, you're young. You're probably asking for advice because you don't know. Let's keep going. At the same time, I felt like it was unfair to expect me to take that role while I was grieving and not the right state of mind to be serving others. Am I the a-hole? No, not at all. And then here it goes. To clarify, for those who ask, I'm from PH, Philip Pencil Pahugli, PH. What is that? Peru, Hawaii? What is PH? Is there a state that starts with I don't know. And our culture doesn't strictly require to serve guests, but it's sometimes done because hospitality is a strong value there. I think in my case, it was more specific to my grandmother rather than something that's expected everywhere. The food was already prepared and was mainly funded by my mother's side of the family. My mother's sister would often bring and buy food for us, and it made me feel worse that my grandmother was the one doing it since, to be fair, she just lost her daughter as well, not to mention outliving her too. That's also why I felt worse about it as I thought it through and started feeling more of an a-hole as I let my actions sink in. To those wondering if there were other family members, yes, there were. Everyone from my mother's side was there as well and stayed overnight throughout the entire wake. I don't fully remember what everyone was doing. Also, the grandmother I'm referring to is my maternal grandmother, mother of my mom, so please don't call her heartless or say anything bad about her. She isn't. Wrong again. Wrong again. You are wrong again. Just want to point this out. It's okay to have respect for your family, but you've now put this on the internet where people can critique it and talk about it. So we have the right to critique when we notice something's bad. People in abusive situations don't often realize they're in abusive situations, and the internet loves to dig deep dive and speculate on everything. And you've allowed me to see what's going on here, so I refuse to not speculate on this. Nah, you're not an adult and you've just lost your mother. That being said, your grandmother has lost a child. What I don't understand is why guests can't sort themselves out. Okay, that seems to be a very thing. Not the a-hole. Guests are supposed to bring food, bread themselves, and maybe even make sure you've got something to eat as well. They're to mourn with you and not distract you from your suffering. 100% that's going on. Not the asshole. Honey, there's a reason the Jewish tradition of sitting Shiva, the immediate time after the loss of a loved one, nothing expected of the mourners, even mirrors are covered. I'm terribly sorry for your loss. Don't be too hard on grandma. She's grieving too, but people go through things, can be thoughtless. That is so true. People can be thoughtless when going through this kind of stuff. So a lot of not the assholes, pretty much regular residual situation. On a bigger note, what always shocks me is older people thinking they deserve this inherent respect from somebody, or they deserve something bigger in life simply by virtue of the length of time they've stayed on this earth. I will not deny the wisdom of an older person, but I will deny the need of me to listen to everything you have to say, because I'm not going to judge a fish obviously by its ability to climb a tree, but I'm not going to listen to an older person just by virtue of length of time. Doesn't make any sense. You could have done nothing in that length of time. I have no clue what you've done. I have no clue what your policies are, how you feel about the world. If you're even saying it's smart, how many mistakes you've made. I guess I can learn from your mistakes in some capacities, but you may have gotten the wrong lessons out of life. I've met so many older people still getting scammed by AI bots. I'm not going to listen to you, boomer. That's ridiculous. So I think that's ridiculous and try to get you to serve people and try to distract yourself in the act of serving when you just lost your mother, who was a very pivotal big figure in your life. Just seems a little bit goofy to do that. But I'm merely one man on the internet, and I just have one opinion among many of thousands of hundreds of millions. And I'm curious about what you guys think about this entire situation. So go ahead and tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about this whole debacle and how insane and ridiculous and wacky it is. Good evening and salutations, my lovely landlubbers. Today we are going to be looking at some Am I the A-hole on Reddit, and this one is for telling my wife my mother is correct and she needs to be a parent today and she effed up. Wait, stop! Before we continue, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see content similar to this, and also turn on that bell for all notifications. With that being said, let's get back to the video. Now, naturally, before we even begin this story, I just want to say that I naturally don't trust a lot of guys when they insult their wives, because that's become a very common trend, especially on Reddit. But I'm going to give this one the benefit of the doubt, as 30,000 likes, 5,000 comments, and 11 of these little sticker things right here, which I don't know. Looks like awards of some sort, but I have no idea what they are. I'm not really on Reddit as good as the next guy. I really don't know. Not really sure, but we're going to see what it is. I'm waiting in the airport, and I need to know if I effed up or not. Ooh, you're waiting at the airport? Maybe to cheat? No, I'm messing with you. I have no clue what you're doing. Let's go ahead and see what you're doing. This week, my daughter, she's in middle school. Thank you for clarifying. Lost a classmate. Holy moly. Holy Jesus. Whoa. Wow, just starting off heavy. My daughter has not taken it well, and overall, this is her first experience with someone she knows dying. That's tough. That's a tough thing to go through for a child, and my condolences are with the child in totality. That's horrifying. You don't just go through that every single day. It's also a hard time for a child to grasp the loss of a friend that they may not know the concept of death. Like, this could happen to me, and then the child may immediately gain consciousness, thinking, "Oh my God,
This isn't forever. Why are we here in the first place? Then they're going to become resentful and hate you for putting them on this plane of existence where they could lose their life. The whole class was excused from school today, and the funeral is happening right now. I unfortunately could not be there. I tried, my PTO was denied, and we cannot lose this job. So fair and reason. That's so reasonable. That's so understandable. Most people don't understand that you can't just call off work and do that just because some life instance is happening at the current moment. You just can't. I want to explain the situation real fast. I was having an asthma attack at school when I was in the 5th grade, and nobody could come pick me up besides my mother, who worked at the lunch lady at the school. Now, she couldn't leave the school, but she could call the hospital, stuff of that variety. She had to do her lunch stuff. She called my dad. My dad said, I literally can't leave work right now. We just took a big vacation. We did just take a big vacation. We just went camping. And nobody in my family could come help me out. So I was just struggling with the asthma attack and just having a horrible time. And I understood my dad explained PTO to me and explained he couldn't do it and things of that variety. My mom was pissed. She said, you don't care about your kids. You don't care about your family. You don't care about nobody in your life. And then my dad said, I do care about them. It's just the reason we even have medical insurance to even get the sun. And the reason I even have any of my inhalers or even had a lot of inhalers. I got inhalers now because I have insurance myself. But was because my dad had the job that gave insurance, and without that job, we wouldn't have the insurance to get me the albuterol inhalers for me to do that. So sometimes you just have to think logically in a situation and don't use emotions to justify everything. Anyways, back to this story. I flew out of Wednesday night and I'm coming back now. Our daughter is a mess. She was friends with the girl that passed away. The plan was for my wife, she is unemployed at the moment, to take her to the funeral mass and just be there. So real. If your wife's unemployed, she should be... this is going to sound crazy. If you are the main caretaker and provider of the house and your wife is doing, I assume, housewife things, then perhaps she should also take care of the daughter in the situation where you have to be at work. That just makes sense to me. Maybe I'm crazy, but that just makes me. My wife is more spiritual than the average person and hates all things with the dead. Who did you marry? Oh, who did you marry? What is this? I'm sorry. Who did you marry? You married a dirty feet white girl that has dreads and hugs trees. You dating a crystal astrology woman? Is that what you've done? Is that what you dated a girl that free bleeds? I'm assuming a lot from this entire thing. You just simply vaguely alluded to the more spiritual thing, and I'm tossing a lot of assumptions at this person, and I completely agree that it is a little bit facetious, and it is for comedic effect and hyperboles. But you are dating somebody that has a black square in their profile. Is that what you're doing? She doesn't wear bras because bras are a trap by the industry created by big pharma to actually sell more bras and get more breasts to be actually destroyed and rely on the comfort and support of something else, so to actually hang more, and bras aren't actually helping support you, and it's actually not messing it up unless you have too big of breasts and your back actually hurts. Then you might consider getting a breast reduction surgery, or people might talk to you less because you get that breast reduction surgery and everybody hates you because you got the reduced breast size, and now nobody wants to speak to you because they actually like you for your boobs and your personality is actually insufferable. So now you got small chest because you were thinking about your back and how you wanted to actually have a longer longevity with life. So now you're actually having smaller breasts and nobody wants to be around you, and now you're having a horrible time because nobody wants to talk to you. Is that what's going on here? Is that the situation? Is that what I'm learning? Anyways, back to the funeral part. Funerals, viewings, and so on. This one is only a mass funeral. No viewing. She believes in ghosts and will avoid funerals like the plague. You dating somebody that thinks Casper, friendly ghosts, and the Ghostbusters are entities, and they're so deep that you can't help her daughter process a simple situation. I might be right about the why did you marry this woman? I'm so sorry. Because you stated specifically she believes in ghosts, so you don't believe in ghosts. So she must have this whole wild, and I understand opposites attract. I grasp that. I understand that people can be different in how their viewpoints and how they operate, and there's much more that goes into a relationship besides a simple thing. But man, maybe the wife is wildly in the wrong here, because your wife sounds crazy. She just sounds crazy. Anyways, we discussed it on Wednesday, and she said she would take our kid, then go to the gravesite. Okay, I'll say so. You reasonably discuss the situation. It's fine. It's beautiful. That's amazing. And that's lovely. I got a call from my daughter sobbing that she wasn't going to the funeral. Oh my God. My wife was refusing to take her. Your wife blatantly lied to you. She destroyed a boundary, you guys. That's disgusting. I don't like that. Now, as a guy that regularly breaks boundaries with my partner, as a horrible person that I am, that's insane. That's a bad thing to do. Objectively, it's bad, and I'm not a good person. So I just want to point that out. It's hypocritical of me to put this upon this person, but it is still a bad thing to do. It's objectively a bad thing to do, and you should grow as a person and not do this. When I got her to when I got her to answer my call, she told me she can't do it and she is scared to go. Irritating children, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Not Epstein style, but just mindset wise. This is wild wacky. I called up my mom and asked her to pick up my daughter and take her to the funeral. My mama left work and took her. They are there now. Okay, so I'm happy your mom stepped up and actually doesn't believe in ghosts. It doesn't think Casper's going to infect her body and annihilate her and destroy her. This is nuts. I got a call from my wife after with her crying because my mom tore her a new one. Let's go. I'm not going to lie to you. Gotta respect that. Gotta respect that. That is so beautiful. Maybe the spirit of somebody possessed the mom to explain that ghosts aren't real. And this is all just a psyop. Maybe she's 100% correct. Maybe her paranoia is justified because maybe this is new information. Maybe this is a new way of acting. Maybe the son just married who he wanted, and then the mom was saying, you dated somebody crazy, and I'm gonna explain that she's a little bit crazy. And there goes the gist. The gist was my mom called her a bad parent, and that it is so f up that she couldn't take out the kid to the funeral of a classmate. She wants me to make my mom apologize, and I told her my mom was right. Yeah, 100%. Mom's right. Mom's 100% correct. I'm not going to lie to you. You believing in ghosts and not wanting to take your daughter to a viewing of a classmate that passed away when it could be the last time she sees the classmate is just wildly crazy. A child needs to be able to process and understand things. You can't hide these things from the child. You also have to have be an adult. Like, be an adult. Go past your fears. If I'm scared of spiders, and my child is having a spider in his or her room, doesn't really matter, it doesn't really factor in everything, I'm going to go in there despite being scared of spiders and step up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show my child that I am horrified of this situation, because it would create an internalized fear of, if my parents are afraid of it, I should be afraid of it too. And that's going to make them not want to go to funerals. And how would you feel if your daughter now has this internalized fear of going to funerals? Because eventually one day you're going to die too. I hope so. I don't hope so, obviously. Everybody dies, I'm not hoping you die. I'm just saying that you are eventually going to have that, unless you plan on getting cremated and everybody can just pick up your urn and shake it a little bit and use it like a magic 8 ball and saying, were you a good mom? No. And then the ashes all crinkle around and spell out the word, you suck. That's the entirety of what could happen there. But I don't know. I just don't think that you are a great parent when it comes to this. That this was something that our daughter needed and she effed up. That she wasn't acting like a parent because of her fear of the dead. All she needed to do was to stay through mass. This is so reasonable. That's so fair. We got into a huge phone call argument and she is calling me a huge dick. Maybe you are. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, my mom is apparently getting texts also, and I told her not to let our daughter know that we are fighting, and if she could for the day, she could look after her for the day. She agreed. This is such a reasonable situation when it comes to how the dad is reacting, how the mom is reacting, and the mom doesn't seem to be that level-headed, because she believes, and I'm not, if you believe in ghosts and you're watching this video, that's your prerogative. You believe in ghosts if you want to. I just think even if you do believe in ghosts, you should have the cadence and forthright willingness, ability to, I'd say, take your daughter to a funeral, even if you think a ghost is going to possess you of some sort. I'm not quite sure. Even if you fear the dead, I feel as though it's important because it's for your daughter. When you're a parent, you got to take a step back. You have to take a step back from yourself to actually put your child first. And your child wants to go visit their friend who they are never going to see ever again. They are never going to see this person again. This is very important. And all the friends will be there. And it'd be strange. You think about going to school, right? And you go to school and all the other students are actively just insulting and making fun of you for not showing up at the funeral. That would also be a very bad situation. I don't want that to happen for my child. I wouldn't do that. It's just not good, because now you're going to get outcast by other classmates, and they're going to make fun of you and give you swirlies and punch you in the stomach and break your ribs and crack your toes. And then they're going to drag you by your car, and then they're going to make you crack your skull open, and then your skull's going to crack open, and your gray matter is going to splatter. You're going to be saying Black Lives Matter, and then it's not even a black person that's happening to, just a little white girl, and everybody's going to go crazy about it. But there's other white girls doing it to this white girl, so nobody's going to happen. They're just going to get a mental evaluation, and then they're going to get off easy because they're little kids and they're white, and then that girl's gonna lose her life, and then you're not gonna show up to your daughter's funeral because you're scared of seeing bodies. And now you're not showing up to your own daughter's funeral, but you cause this entire situation because you cause the other kids to bully and ridicule these kids because kids are cruel, and you didn't see that forthright in the future. You didn't have the ability to peer into the future and see that, and now you're lost. You're lost. Beautiful show, by the way. You should go check it out. It's an amazing show. It's a beautiful show. They get lost on a plane, and then they get lost on an island. It's actually a biblical allegory. It's a great show, but it is just crazy to see all this nonsense happen. It is wacky and wicked and disgusting. Anyways, let's read some comments. Not the a-hole. Your wife let her own feelings get in the way of her daughters. As a parent, she needs to get used to doing things that might make her uncomfortable for the sake of her child's mental health and well-being. Your wife let your daughter down that day, and your daughter isn't going to forget that her mother wasn't there for her. They both need therapy. Your daughter because losing a friend her age is incredibly traumatizing, and your wife because her fear of death, ghosts led her to traumatize your daughter even more. Talk to him. Talk to him. Ooh, that's the perfect comment. I don't even think I need to say anything else beyond that comment. That's just perfect. Really a wicked and wacky situation overall. But thank you guys for showing me this story. Thank you guys for having the forthright to message me about the things that are going on Reddit, and I appreciate that. And I'm happy you enjoy, at least in some capacities, my reactions to these stories, or at least the forthright and scenarios that I bring when I speak and ramble. In any case, thank you guys so much for checking out my video. Let me know your thoughts and comments down in the section down below. And I'm out. Peace. Bye. Good evening and salutations, my lovely people. Did you wake up today? I hope so. I'm still waiting for you to wake up. Could you wake up first? Could you just put some water in your face? Try washing your face first. I know you don't wash your face that much, and I know you don't have a skincare routine. I'm sorry about that. I know we should probably do that. We're all adults. You should probably go ahead and just wash your face. At least at the bare minimum, wash your face. Get the dirt out of your eyes. You do that, you get sleep out of your eyes? That's good. Okay, thank goodness. What'd you eat this morning? Coffee? That's it? Okay. Well, try banana, maybe apple, something of that variety. You need some fruit sugar, which is different than regular sugar. I feel as though you need something different. This is not healthy, man. I'm so sorry. This is really not healthy for either of us. This is actually disgusting. You're gonna ruin your body. And an apple a day keeps a doctor away, but the doctor is actually living in your basement because he doesn't see an apple around you, and the doctor's gonna take you. He's gonna harvest your organs for bigger money. That's why you eat the apple. He wants those weak organs so he can use them as betting chips so somebody doesn't make it as far, because he's live betting on people's lives on Polymarket. That's what he's doing. And if he puts weak organs into somebody, he can guess the exact day that somebody's gonna pass out and pass away, and he's using your organs to get bets on Polymarket, and his odds are looking crazy good because they think you have a strong heart, but you're weak-hearted. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Don't let the Polymarket doctors win. That's nasty. Anyways, enough of me about giving life advice. Let's talk about this Am I the A-hole story. Am I the A-hole for refusing to give my parents a fixed portion of my salary even though they expect it? Now, I don't even know the story yet, but I do want to state, never pay your parents back. I never involve family with money. Never involve giving your family a bunch of dollary dues. Let's say you found Captain Kidd's treasure. You want your family to be a part of that? You're the explorer. You searched those oceans. You figured out the longitude and latitude. You tracked it down. You did all the reading. I wouldn't do that. Now it depends on if your family did something nice to you when you were younger. That's always nice, but a fixed portion of the salary is a little crazy unless you live with them. If you live with them, then it's a whole different story. Then you might have to pay a little rent, maybe. I know a lot of black families that do that, where they say you're 18 now, you can get a job, you can start paying rent, which doesn't help unless the parent is secretly saving all that money that they're paying for rent to help the child out. It doesn't really work that way, but I guess we'll see. I grew up in a pretty average Indian household. Okay, well, we discovered first thing here. It must be a cultural thing, maybe. Not quite sure. Shout out India, by the way. Love chicken tikka masala. That's amazing. We love to see it. Nothing fancy. So pretty average, but not struggling either. From early on, I handled my education mostly on my own. Okay. All right. I worked for scholarships, focused on academics, figure things out without asking them for much financial help. Okay, so you're independent. You're independent, but they don't know what that means. They don't understand what that means. They don't understand that you yourself are somebody different. So that's pretty nice. Now I've got a stable job in another city, and I'm finally at a place where I can breathe a bit financially. Okay, you got some breathing room. Your lungs feeling a bit great. So you got the ability to actually say, I I can go bowling on Tuesday. Ooh, that's big moves right there. Outside of going bowling on Tuesday, Wednesday, I can go golfing. Then Thursday, for no reason, even if it's by myself, because I'm like a creep, I can go go-karting. And all the kids are going to look at me and think I'm a little bit of a weirdo. And they're going to say, why is that grown man go-karting by himself? And you're going to say, because I'm financially stable. Then you're going to get kicked out because you're actually not allowed 20 feet within a school zone. And we didn't know this about you in the story. And that's a little bit of an issue. I'm making this up for dramatic effect, but you never know. Now then, he's going to explain, here's the issue. Interesting. Recently, my mom started expecting me to send them a fixed portion of my salary every month. Oh, then that's a little strange. I don't know. Recently, my parents started expecting me to, that doesn't make any sense. Not like occasional help or anything. They literally framed it as my responsibility. Where'd that come from? I don't understand where that come from. Is that just because I'm not sure. Is that something culturally, or maybe they just are greedy? Maybe your parents were insanely greedy. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. You know, it's crazy. This is interesting too. This is very interesting. There's a lot of African families that'll do that as well, where we have one person who gets their degree in Africa, then they come to America, and then they have a doctorate degree, and they come here in order to send money back to the family, because American money is significantly more expensive than, well, it's significantly more valuable. I don't say the money itself is more expensive. It's significantly more valuable than the African currency, so they send money back to the family. It's a very common thing amongst foreigners a lot of the time, where the child or the most successful person in the family will send money back to the family upon leaving and getting a new life. That seems to be a very common occurrence. I've seen that happen a lot. I saw it happen one time with one of my friends, where oh my god, he was making like $20,000 a month, and he said, I only keep like, I don't know, 4,000 of it because, you know, I help my family out. I said, you give your family $16,000? He said, I don't need much than 4K. Yeah, I'm catching you in 4K right now doing this nonsense. This is insane. A little bit crazy to do that, but it's their family, it's their history. I don't want to judge. It's people. That's how they operate, and it's their confines of their family. So, to each their own. That seems important for them. Thing is, my dad earns a decent amount. They have multiple properties, savings, gold, all that. They're not dependent on me to survive. They're just greedy. He's got gold? I'm sorry. We dealing with Scrooge McDuck savings, multiple properties. He's a landlord. This is just biblical levels of greed. There's no reason for any of this. This is realistically wild and disgusting biblical levels of greed just for the love of the game. Yeah, it doesn't, you know, my dad, man, he owns 5 apartments, and he's got a savings account and 2.7 million, and he actually owns all the gold in India. All the gold in India? Yeah, he actually knows the queen personally. He hangs out with the Queen of England. He does a seance every night, and he uses the astral realm to project to the Queen of England, and the Queen of England gives him a financial advice, and the Queen of England does still send him money as if it's child support every single month. A little bit strange why he's asking me. Don't really understand why he's reaching out to me. I'm just a son. I don't understand what's going on. Feels greedy. I told them I'm not comfortable committing to sending money regularly. I said I help. There's an actual need or emergency, but I don't want this to be an obligation. What you should, yeah, 100%. I'm happy you set a boundary. They didn't take it well. Dude, drop your parents. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Drop your parent. Why are you discussing You know what? You can discuss money with your parents and say, yeah, I'm doing well. Because, man, that just seems ridiculously goofy. Now every phone call somehow turns into a money conversation. Comments like, this is what children are supposed to do, or we didn't raise you to be selfish, is getting exhausting and honestly making me avoid talking to them. Yeah, just limit conversation with them. Go NC, go on NO contact with them, and see how they like it, because they need to grow as people. That's disgusting. I would not enjoy that at all. I've even started feeling guilty, like maybe I'm being too harsh and ungrateful, especially because I know this is pretty common in a lot of Indian families. See, it's a cultural thing. See, very cultural. I didn't know. It's a very cultural thing, and I want to say this right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, screw your culture for a second. Seems a little goofy. If that's a cultural thing in Indian families to send money to your parents, I just wouldn't do that, man. You can break generational trauma and break tradition. It is so powerful to break tradition and break generational trauma that is set upon you by the standards of that culture. You can do it. I believe in you. You have the power and wherewithal to be able to say no to all these things, and I believe in that. So, but at the same time, it feels wrong to be pressured into giving money when they're financially secure themselves. Even if they weren't financially secure themselves, you don't have any obligation to give them money because they gave you life, dude. You're free to do whatever you want with your life. Who cares if you're doing financially well? You shouldn't have to take care of your parents. Listen, this is the obligation of what happens here, right? You didn't ask to be born. Your parents put you into this lifetime. They put you here. So it's completely their choice right there. They decide to have you. So you don't have to follow in any capacity what they say. You don't have to do that. A parent's job should be to guide the child to make decisions so they can learn mistakes themselves, or they should learn things. Your parent's guide is to not to control you or to tell you what to do. Your parents' goal should be to let you live your life. That's what it is. They made a human. So yeah, am I the a-hole for refusing to give them a fixed part of my salary and not sending money at all? Not at all, dude. Not at all. But let's read the comments first. I want to see these comments. Let's see. NTA, if your parents are financially well, you shouldn't feel guilty about not giving them any of your salary. That's fair. That's fair. I know, but they keep framing it like I'm doing something wrong. He is definitely just guilted by his parents. This is OP right here. He's just guilted by his parents right there. That's a little shame. By American standards, you're completely normal. Not going to give a judgment, though, because I think you need to have this conversation with Indians. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair, because I'm not, right? I don't know their culture, but it'd be completely ridiculous in my culture. There seems to be something more, this seems like something for a more specific subreddit, maybe. Yeah, this is really, because we don't know their culture, right? Like, we don't know their culture. Because we could see, let's say for an example, right? There's a 30-year-old Asian male, and he's staying with his mom, and then people are making fun of him, but that's just part of their culture. That's just part of their culture. That's the whole thing. That's just what it is. Nope, NCA parents are just mad. As is very common in many cultures, they probably did it for their parents. So as a result, they probably think they deserve it since they did it to their parents. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, but I wish it was more of a choice than expectation. That's what's bothering me. I think this guy's looking for an answer that he's not going to get. It's really your choice. You know, reading all these a lot of the time, it's really a lot of people with low personal agency trying to get a bunch of opinions from people on the internet to validate their own experience because they don't have any self-esteem in their own choices. So they end up deciding what they need to do based on a bunch of random strangers from the internet, which is definitely not healthy. That's just not healthy. You don't know these people. Thankfully, you can see my face at the bare minimum to say you're not the asshole. But yeah, children or Indian parents retirement plan. That is so funny. That's just funny. Anyways, let me get my final thoughts. I think you should not give your parents money because giving your parents money would not respect the boundaries that you set as a human being. And I don't think you're the a-hole for setting a boundary with your parents because you don't owe your parents that in any capacity. Like, that seems goofy to do so. That seems nuts. I don't understand that part of the culture. But again, it's not my culture. I have no idea. So yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out my video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about this entire situation. And I'm out. Peace. Bye.
Hello, monkeys!
Sorry if I got anybody with some racial banter immediately as soon as the video started off. I just wanted to test something out. Anyways, we got a new Am I the A-hole today, and I'm very excited about this one because this got sent in by a fan, and the fan told me, yeah, this one's gonna make you cringe. I said, okay, I guess we'll see what's going on there. Not many things make me cringe. I'm the king of cringe. I'm the king of figuring out things that make me a little bit upset. But with all that being out of the way, let's talk about one thing before we begin. Why are you not subscribed yet? Why are you not commenting? Why are you not liking the video? I just want to know why you aren't. Just tell me why you haven't done so. Maybe you hate black people? Is that it? You hate black people? You hate black people? I guess that's fair. I'm not really sure why you're watching a black person. I'm pretty sure I put my afro in the thumbnail. You can see there was a black person. You clicked on the video. Maybe you were curious about what was going on. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you enjoyed the cadence of my voice. Maybe you enjoy what I'm doing. I'm not quite sure, but I just want to get my number up. Big number mean big good for me, and I get more advertiser money, and that's fun for me. Then I can make more videos, and I can keep talking about these things and going a little bit more psychotic. But with that being said, let's talk about today's topic. Am I the a-hole for trying to move out of my boyfriend's parents' house? I immediately, just based off the title, that's a very fair goal to me. Seems fair. Okay. My boyfriend, 23-year-old, and I, 23-year-old, got pregnant unexpectedly. Both of you got pregnant? That's crazy. I didn't know both of you got pregnant. That's a little bit insane. We were nowhere near financially prepared. During the pregnancy, his parents told us to move in with them while we got on our feet. That's very lovely. So after the baby was born, we did. My boyfriend and his brother were going into business together, so it worked out nicely. Okay, so got financially stable. That's fantastic. That's lovely. That's beautiful. Present day. The baby girl is 7 months old, and it's been almost 3 months since moving in. First, let me say, his parents are some of the most kind-hearted people you could ever know. However, I am very, very ready to move out. Why? Yeah, tell us why. Tell us the 25th letter of the alphabet. Why? They have 3 Australian shepherds who are untrained. All 3 pee and poop in the house sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. I feel uncomfortable putting my baby on the unclean floor. She has her own play area, but she's getting bigger and will need to move out of the house soon. Immediately, that's pretty good. I understand that. They could be nice people, but 3 dogs, 3 Australian shepherds, 3 doggos, 3 big old dogs is kind of crazy. Not gonna lie, that's a fair reason so far. Don't really see an issue there. The 2 younger dogs fight very intensely and randomly. Multiple people have been bit. My boyfriend could. That scares me as a mom with her in the house. Yeah, because the baby could get hurt. The baby could get wildly hurt. That's just gonna be bad. That's horrifying. They bring in ticks daily. Everything is bad about the dogs. That's disgusting. They found 30 on one dog in one night. What is this household? What is this disgusting, retributional, nasty, poverty-stricken? Are you in a 3rd world country? Are you in an 8th world country? Are you in a 13th world country? Where are you? Where do you live at? Are you in a trailer park? What is going on? Are you in my house, in my basement, where I have nothing but disgusting nastiness down there because I refuse to clean? There's so much black mold in my lungs right now that I could pass out at any moment upon recording this video, and my life is in shambles, and I have warts all over my body, and the ticks are actually having a symbiotic relationship with me, and I'm letting it happen to myself. I don't want my baby getting Lyme disease. You can't. You can't. That's crazy. Or any other disease because they're ungroomed and prone to bringing them in. Where are you at? Where do you live? Is this some ancient Mesozoic era and you somehow found a phone that allows you to contact with another tribe of people, which is the greater bulk of the internet, and you have done so? Feels actually really racist when I say stuff like that, doesn't it, huh? Anyways, I'm going to get back to being a little bit more racially motivated upon my sentences and continue what I'm saying. Where are you staying at to where these dogs are bringing in ticks? 30 ticks, mind you. That is insane. That is psychotic. Honestly, they bark a lot and wake her up from her naps. Imagine being postpartum and spending hours getting your baby asleep. Once you do a dog bark, she wakes up crying. Ugh. Yeah, that is very annoying. I couldn't imagine that, but thank you for giving me that visual. I appreciate that. Her parents are very messy people. I thrive in a clean and productive environment. My mental health is terrible from trying to live in a house full of clutter, poop floors, and a kitchen with all counters covered by piles of dirty dishes, old food, random dishware with no place, crusted chunks and juices. I've deep cleaned it multiple times and others have too, but it goes back a few hours later. We also share a small bathroom with his 17-year-old brother. It's nasty. I'm the only one who cleans it, which doesn't last. Everything about this situation is insane. That is crazy. Everything about this situation sucks. You got a dirty house, you got a bunch of dogs, poop floors, your baby's in danger, you get Lyme disease, and a meteor could strike the house at any moment, but it still will probably be nicer and less messy, as meteor might actually clean the dishes in some capacities. I would start slowly tossing out dishes every single day and making sure everybody has one dish so everybody has to take responsibility of their own dish. But even that wouldn't fix the dog issue because you got 3 dogs. And I've seen houses like this where they have so many dogs, they can't take care of all the dogs. And sometimes the dogs will come in and bring in a bunch of nastiness and it will get disgusting. Dogs will smell outside because they're going to retain that smell of that dirt around there. Now let's see what she said here. I told my boyfriend I really want to move out. I think it will be better for my sanity, the baby, and our relationship because it's causing loads of stress and anger daily. Yeah, that's not good for the baby. The anger is not good for the baby because babies can pick up on frequencies of anger, and if they get too much anger, they're going to emit gamma radiation, and then the gamma radiation is going to turn the baby into the Incredible Hulk, and you don't want your baby turning into Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner is a psychopath, and then you'll have Avenger level threats trying to take your baby out. You want to avoid that at all costs. You don't want your baby getting throat checked by Thanos. That'd be disgusting. You want your baby to become the Incredible Hulk. Actually, keep the anger. That'd be pretty cool. Then you have an Incredible Hulk baby, and then your baby could become Bruce Banner, and then he'd become incredibly smart, and then he'd actually have 2 entities inside of himself, and he would actually be able to jump on top of things, and he could take out cars. He could pick you up a car, and then you wouldn't have to pay for that because you'd be able to get away with whatever you want to because the Hulk can handle bullets, and the Hulk can breathe in space. Then you'd be able to get Planet Hulk, and Planet Hulk's going to be cleaner than the house that you're living in. That's the reality of what could happen there. His POV is we're staying here at no cost. Ooh, you pissing me off, man. He pissing me off. I'm already mad at him. I'm already paid. I gotta put my glasses back on. I don't want him to see my eyes because he's gonna look in the whites of my eyes and he'll get mad like a bull because I'm gonna turn red immediately. In a rare position to save money to start his business and get land for ourselves, something we wanted. He's worried the cost of living on our own would keep us stuck for a very long time. We have no savings and he has debts to settle with his family. Holy moly! Why are you in debt to your family? I got a question for everybody. Is it common to be in debt with your family? Is that a regular occurrence? Do people just go through that naturally to say if my dad gave me $20, right? And he said, pay me back. I'd say, no, I'm not going to pay you back. I never ask for money back when I give people money ever. I'm just confused by this concept because if I'm giving you something and expecting something in return, that is me being nice, not me being kind. I'm a kind person most of the time, so I don't want anything back when I give something. I don't have people pay for their food when I'm out with them because I invited them out most of the time. Maybe that's not regular. I don't know. Maybe that's not a regular thing. I'm not quite sure. It just seems goofy. It just seems goofy to do so. It's just a little bit odd. Anyways, let's get back to the giggle schmeck, the gooble goink of this nonsense, because this is a little bit crazy. All right. I found a place at $800 monthly, including rent, water, and electricity. That's the best deal we could possibly find in our area. He makes over 3 times more than that, and I'm starting a job that pays $300 to $400 a month. Not a lot, but I get to bring my baby, and that's huge because we won't do daycare. He's right, but there'll be other expenses, and it will probably take longer to save and pay things off, but I think it will be best in a quality of life kind of way. I know I could be a better mother if I wasn't stressed and angry every day. I also want a positive, non-resentful relationship with his parents. Am I the a-hole? Should we stay there or push through? Let me know. Thanks. Yeah, go ahead and get up out of there, man. Hey, go ahead and get up out of there. Go ahead and leave, man. You don't gotta stay there. Just go ahead and get up out of there, man. Just everything I read in this, everything I heard is just ridiculous. I don't think this is a good thing for you or the baby or the relationship or the person. Just go ahead and leave. Just go ahead and leave. Let's read some comments. You need out. Don't suggest, demand. If you refuse to look into resources, single mom. This isn't about compromising the safety. Your child is not safe. She will be bit. If it's not that, it's not the a-hole. Get out the house. Yeah, this is pretty much sums up my entire thoughts right here. Yeah, get out of there. This is crazy. I understand wanting to save money, but you need a safe and clean environment for my baby. She shouldn't be restricted to keep off floors, as she needs space to learn to pull as to stand to walk. $800 a month is clutch, not to mention sharing a bathroom for 3 people was a lot and would have driven me out sooner. You need a bite, poop, pee free area way before you need land. Yeah, just trying to get to the last stage and save up money and do all this stuff for a business and all this stuff. Everybody wants to start a business for some reason. Not really sure what that's going on about. That's crazy. Everybody's pretty much saying the same sentiment, by the way. I'm a paramedic. I've had 2 calls now where where the family dog bit the child in the face and will be scarred for life. Holy, you are overreacting. You need to move out. Yeah, that's a bit much. I don't know what's worse, the biological waste it takes to find dogs that can hurt the baby, sharing a room with 17-year-olds, so you, boyfriend, baby, and 17-year-old in one room. That's not fair to you, the baby, and definitely not 17-year-old. It's all dangerous. If I got out, it would be CPS visit where you require a safety plan to keep your daughter. Boyfriend needs to wake up. This can make all of you sick and have lasting damage to your baby. You need to leave with or without the BF. He will think 800 is nothing when the courts hit him with child support. Let's go. What a statement. Gee wee, what a statement. That's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, move out. I do hope things get better for you and your baby. You should definitely leave the entire situation, or at least talk to your boyfriend about it. He seems more concerned about money than he is for the safety of your child and yourself and your mental health, which isn't healthy at all, and that's not good. It may stress him out overall, but I say get on some WIC, maybe some government assistance of some sort to help with the food costs for the baby, and then figure out daycare stuff if you're not planning on working. If you are planning on working, I'm not sure exactly what you're doing, but yeah, that seems to be a mess of a situation. Get out of there and don't let the baby get hurt. That seems disgusting. Maybe there's an angle I don't see. Maybe there's something you want to tell me in the comment section down below, what I'd like to hear. Go ahead and tell me your thoughts and opinions about this entire situation, and I'm curious to hear what all is going on. With that being said, I've been me. I'm out. Peace. Bye. Good evening and joyous salutations to all those across the multiverse and in every universe that I'm not in. And hopefully you'll find me and figure out why I'm not in that universe. I don't want to be a singularity inside this universe. That would be horrifying and I'd ruin my weekday, mind, body, spirit, and soul. I'm trying to exist in every universe. I'm trying to make different versions of myself so we can all fight in Mortal Kombat and I can cause Armageddon across the entire world. That'd be beautiful and lovely. But I'm not here to cause Armageddon today. Thankfully, I'm here to simply do something simple and talk about, are you the a-hole? Let's talk about it. Am I the a-hole for having my neighbor's boyfriend car towed after they took over my parking spot for a week? I, 24 female, pay extra for a reserve. I'm just going to say this right now. Just want to say this without even reading the entire story. You're not the a-hole for towing somebody if they take your parking spot. As a matter of fact, if somebody takes my parking spot, it's time to scrap, fight, battle. I'm going to take their car. I'm going to pick their car up, get it to Godzilla. I'm going to annihilate you. I'm going to get King Kong, my buddies from Kaiju Mania, and go sicko mode. You take my parking spot, you're cooked. I'm paying for parking, and you're done. I pay for this extra parking spot because I didn't want to actively park on the street or deal with that, and you're taking my paid parking spot. What if I was handicapped? What if I got something going on? You don't know my life. You don't know what's going on, my ability to figure out things. I'm going to annihilate you. I'm going to take you. I'm going to German suplex you, and then I'm going to get everybody from Germany to jump you. I'm going to get everybody to come out of nowhere. I'm going to get everybody in the U.S. government to give you so many parking tickets and fines. You're going to get annihilated. You're getting towed. You're getting annihilated. Yeah, the economy's in shambles right now, but I'm actually paying extra for this parking spot because I don't want to be inconvenienced by you and your boyfriend. Now you're inconveniencing me. Now I'm going to extra inconvenience you. Now I'm doing eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, whole world blind. You're going to have to learn Braille. You're going to need a walking stick. You're going to need a seeing eye dog. You're going to be Ray Charles by the time I'm done with you because I'm making a whole world blind. Everybody's going to be wondering how we're all speaking the same language. ASL, baby. We're all throwing up gang signs to each other. It's going to be nuts. Well, that's not the same thing, actually. If we're making a blind, you wouldn't need to learn ASL, American Sign Language. That would be people that are deaf. Doesn't make any sense. You would actually need to learn Braille. Braille is impossible. You're going to need stucco on your walls to get around because I'm making you actually touch everything. You're going to get touched in some capacity. And I'm not talking about in the Michael Jackson era or the Epstein era or in the Chris Hansen way. I mean, boom, boom, bang. Hands to mouth all day, every day. I'm breaking and masticating mandible. I'm destroying you. I'm annihilating you. I'm making your teeth inverting out. Do not take my parking spot. That is so agitating. Just upon reading the title, I got heated, steamed, pissed. Oh, so much anger is relevant in my body. Don't do that to me. Do not do that to me. I am not a reasonable person most of the time. Don't take my parking spot. You messed up. Anyways, I should read the story. I, 24F, pay extra for a reserved parking spot in my apartment because parking here is really bad. Boom, I'm already right. About 2 weeks ago, my neighbor, 26F, knocked on my door and asked if I could allow her boy. Okay, and asked if I could allow her boyfriend, who just visited, use my spot just for one night. She said she would move her car early the next morning. Understandable, grasp it. And I agreed since my car is with the mechanic, but the car stayed there for almost a week. How deeply agitating must that be that you are smacking cheeks that deeply inside of there that your boyfriend's staying for a little bit, but he decides to actually have a long fest of just smacking uglies and macking genitals with each other that you decide to stay there for the entire week. I reminded her multiple times to move it, but there was always an excuse, and now I have my car back and kept searching for street parking even though I'm paying for my own spot. After several warnings, I finally had the car towed. Now my neighbor says I overreacted and embarrassed him. Point this out, right? We'd have to fight. If my neighbor did this to me, it wouldn't just be a battle. I will organize a pay-per-view event just for a battle, just for a scrapping, just so I can break your legs, just so I can take your fingers, snap them, and show you your toenails, just to actively take your neck and break it immediately, just to take your eyeballs and put them inside of your tummy, just to hit you with some nonsense. I would actually attack your father too. I would go above and beyond for this kind of trespass. To say I embarrassed you and I'm overreacting, I will show you an overreacting. I will launch a nuclear strike drone on your exact location. Give me your longitude and latitude. I will take your shoulder and I will put it where it's not supposed to be. I will put it at the bottom of the ocean, at the Mariana Trench, even deeper than that. I will go beyond the deepest parts of the ocean. I will figure out where hollow earth is. I will put you in the firmament with the hoteps and hollow earth and with flat earth at the same exact time. I will confirm 5 theories. I will take you to the ice wall. I will go beyond Hebrew Israelite mythology. I will take you to Zeus, Hera, Hercules, Hades, Hermes. And I'm not talking about Hermes the guy. I'm talking about the guy from Futurama, that black guy, because he's going to audit you. He's going to take you out. I'm going to make you go into the future. I'm going to make you fight Bender. I'm going to bend you over, and then I'm going to spank you with 6,000 hands, Bodhisattva First Hokage nonsense. You're getting annihilated. You're going to get hit with your ribs. Your ribs are going to get annihilated. I'm smacking you up. I'm going to give you COVID-19, COVID-20, and I'm going to give you COVIDs 1 through 18 before I hit you with 19 bullets right to the dome. It's going to be disgusting. You're completely annihilated. Don't ever. Why would you even think of disrespecting me? Why would that thought even cross your mind? Why would you even for 1 second assume I'm overreacting? Because you have not seen me overreact yet. You have not seen me in my full era. You have not seen me in my pride, spirit, and mind. You have not seen me escape my body and put you in the out-of-body experience. I'm gonna learn how to astral project. So every night I go into your dreams and beat the mess out of you. So you wake up covered in sweat and panic, and you're gonna see me waiting there in the corner right there watching you, pacing at you. I'm gonna learn how to teleport just so I can teleport out the way so the cops think you're crazy. And the only thing that's gonna be left is a pure follicle of my foreskin all the way there. You're gonna be like, this must be the follicle of his foreskin. Why does he have hair on his foreskin? And you're gonna wonder, and you're gonna be seeing it that it's cleanly shaved. It's not even my foreskin. It's gonna be somebody else's foreskin because your boyfriend's dirty and he's nasty and he's got smegma there and he's cheating on you because I saw him on Grindr. I'm gonna make a Grindr for him and say he's cheating on you. Now I'm gonna ruin your relationship because you taking my parking spot. I am so unreasonable when it comes to tiny things that aggravate me, and you have taken me to an extent where I want to go because I've been waiting for an excuse just to unleash all this anger that I have about the economy on one person. You're going to be the conduit, the catalyst, the everything for this one single trespass. This will be the moment where I cause absolute destruction. Nuclear winter will be bereft upon you at this exact moment because you have decided to disrespect me in a way that I didn't think was humanly possible. But now I see it as humanly possible because you're making me get inhuman out of my skin. You make me go into a state of being that I never even thought was possible. You tap me in the avatar state. I'm going Super Saiyan, going Ozaru monkey mode on you, destroying your entire thing. With our powers combined, I will get you evicted from this apartment. I will ruin your life. I will get the landlord to jump you as soon as you leave the house, and I will knock down everything inside of your house as if I'm a cat messing up your stuff. Do not take my parking spot. You are done. You are cooked. You are in a flambe. You are Gordon Ramsay. You are sauteed. You are put inside of an omelet. I'm not doing this today. It's not happening. You know what's going to happen? Nonsense, capping, cracking. I'm hitting you in the back of the skull, hitting you with a blind spot, sucker punching you because you was sucker, and it's sucker free around here. I'm hitting you with Macho Man Randy Savage, every WWE finisher known to man. Macho Man Randy Savage, Ric Flair, the Brahma Bull, the Hulk. I don't even care. Hulk Hogan. I don't even want to say the Hulk. That's the wrong thing. I'm thinking of Marvel, but I'm actually going to get all of Marvel to attack you. It's going to be me kills the U universe. It's going to be disgusting. Not Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, but me actually killing the universe because I'm going to go through every multiverse and dimension and take you out. I'm going to go through everything to you where you become the one singularity in this life hold. That's what's going to happen if you take my parking spot. I think I'm reasonable, at least a little bit, right? Anyways, let's read some comments. Yeah, not the asshole. They said us for one night. You agreed to one night. Case closed. Yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty efficient there. That's what it is. Exactly. There's no way you're an a-hole. They abused your kindness and they had the gall to act like the victims. They're only embarrassed themselves. You actually parked on the street even once. I'd have to get my car cut. My first question shifted was ignored. Talk to him. That's my goat right here. Industrious bowler, that's my goat. Illustrious bowler, I apologize. I put a D in there. It wasn't a D. Embarrassed. You should be ashamed of taking advantage. What did they plan to do if your car wasn't at the mechanics in the first place? Seems very odd. Not the a-hole. 100%. They embarrassed themselves. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Also, this is a warning to anybody that takes my parking spot. Just know that everything I said in that rant I just did, it will happen. Everything I said will happen. That is a pure warning to everybody that try to take my parking spot. That is, I've gotten too many parking tickets. I don't like dealing with the law. I will make the law come down upon you. You fought the law and I won. That's what's going to happen there. Anyways, let me know what you think about the situation. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe I overreacted. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. And I'm out. Peace. Bye. What a wonderful day in the neighborhood, my nagging Google goppers of the internet today. How are we doing today? Tell me how your day is. Did you eat breakfast? Did you have some oatmeal? Did you get some complex carbs inside of your belly? Did you skip the butt bread this morning because you think it looks worse than the rest of the pieces of bread because it's actually nasty and it's agitating, and then you hit your foot on the counter and you messed up and you feels like you landed on a Lego, but it's not actually a Lego, it's just a counter that you keep hitting, and sometimes you're walking too fast, you bump your shoulder into something and you think it's a sign for autism because you saw it on TikTok. Is that how you're feeling right now? Is that what's happening? Can we write that down? Can we get an analysis on that? Walter, can we get an analysis on that? Today I'm feeling jovial because I'm reading about other people's issues. So as I was perusing on the internet last night, just minding my black, delicious, sultry, cocoa buttery business, I discovered something on Am I Overreacting on Reddit. We're gonna read through this entire interaction because it makes me excited to learn about. Am I overreacting? Husband wants to play golf on our child's birthday. Now, to be fair, golf is pretty important. You can't not golf, and it's just a child. A child's birthday, he's not even gonna remember it. What is he, like 20? Doesn't really matter. Who cares about that? Worthless. They don't have good memory. They're just a child. We got that. My daughter's second birthday falls on Saturday this year. Now, Saturday is a very important day. Let's say that the dad's working really hard, obviously. Obviously, you can miss a girl's birthday because, obviously, it's a girl, obviously. My husband's family does a golf tournament every year. This year, they scheduled it on my daughter's birthday. Okay, it seems like miscommunication so far with the family. What is a golf tournament? Right? The husband family does a golf tournament every year. Maybe the daughter can learn how to play golf. Maybe they can host. I'm looking for a compromise so far because this seems to be a pre-planned scheduled event. I don't know how close the family is. I'm not quite sure. We can figure this out. We can get something done. I feel like we can actually have something done so far. Since her birthday is on a Saturday, I want to take a day trip and go to a huge zoo that is about 2 hours away. He said there is no reason why we have to do that on her birthday and could just do that a different day. Well, now, I know you're gonna hate me for this, but the husband is a little mean. I know you're gonna hate me for saying that. I know we love men here. I know men is our favorite thing here on this channel. The husband is a little mean because the child, even if the child doesn't remember the birthday, it's still an experience for the child, and they could have that pop up in therapy when they actually get put inside Harambe's cage, and then they can be the reason why we're having a downfall in society. We can make Harambe 2.0. Maybe the husband's looking into the future. That's a Raven status, actually peering deeper into the future and deciding for himself. Maybe we don't want to have another Harambe situation. Why would we take a child to a zoo 2 hours away? Who's driving in the situation? Maybe they don't have enough car money. Maybe the golf is what he's using to cope with the fact that he hates his relationship so much and he hates his daughter because he actively wanted a son who wanted to do golf at 2 years old. Because everybody knows a person that does golf at 2 years old is obviously a man. That's just what it is. And I don't even have to guess the race of these people. These people are clearly Korean. Obviously. Wasn't even guessing any other race. If you have any other race guesses in the comments, please let me know. I told him I found it extremely selfish and sad that he wants to miss his daughter's birthday to play golf. Because let's be honest, it's not just the 18 holes. There is then a dinner, and he will come home either extremely tipsy or completely drunk and pass out on the couch. Yo, you just dropped a lot of lore on us, man. Hold on. Okay, he's an alcoholic. He likes free food. You just really hit us with some lore here. Why did you have a child with this man? What is this information you just dropped on us out of nowhere? It's not about the 18 holes. He actually is a horrible alcoholic. He has a crippling gambling addiction. He gambled our life savings away. He actually beats our daughter every day, and she's like 1 year old. And he shot me in the leg last week with a Desert Eagle. I didn't even know what a Desert Eagle is, but he kept waving it around saying it's the bacon of pistols. And I had to agree because it did feel like I did eat some bacon because he was aiming close to my heart, and now I have to get cataract surgery. I don't even know what cataract surgery is. I think it's for my eyes, but it hurts. I went to cardiac arrest, and I wanted to arrest him, but it actually messed me up deeply. Giving me all this information that I don't need. I feel as though I'm entering a world where I don't need to know this extra. Why she put it in quotations is what's killing me. It is in quotations right there because let's be honest, it starts in quotations. It's not just the 18 holes. There is then a dinner, and he will come home either extremely tipsy or completely drunk and pass out on the couch. That is, I gotta respect that. I gotta respect the quotations here. I gotta respect that. He said that it's not selfish because he plays in the tournaments every year, so he should get to do it this year too. I said that since he plays in it every year, it shouldn't be a big deal to miss 1 year. That's, she's spitting. She's spitting. She was a llama and I was at a zoo, I would be getting spit on by her because she's spitting crazy. That's what I'm hearing right here. You do it every year, it don't even matter. I feel like I feel like his response should be, well, she has a birthday every year, which would just be funny. Objectively hilarious and messed up and evil and very dad. Just be hilarious. He feels there is no need to spend the whole day with your child on their birthday if you are also doing a party on a different day. I feel like the anniversary day is the important aspect because there's one resource we don't get back, and that's time. Time is the most important resource. Why did you not communicate with the family? Or does the family not that close with you because they don't like you? Are you hated amongst your family too, and they only want to interact with you at the golfing tournament? I have questions. I want to peer deep into this because you seem like a horrible person. You just seem like the worst person of all time. I feel like your family is also horrible people, and maybe they did this to spite you, to make you have an argument. Maybe they're out to get you. Maybe you should be paranoid. about your family trying to ruin your relationship because they hate your wife? Have you considered that? Have you considered that your daughter is insufferable? Maybe your kid's annoying. That's horrible thing. That's horrible thing to say. That just being at a party is enough. I think that is complete bull and makes me question how much he really wants to be there for his children. Probably not at all. Golf is important because he gets to hit a ball, probably lackadaisically, not even that good. He gets to drive around, have a caddy do his stuff. Basically, if he has a caddy and he has somebody grab the ball for him, he has free labor. And you're not doing the free labor at home. Someone's free labor from someone else. He wants to feel powerful and important as a man because he has manifest destiny invested inside of his brain. I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but I can just feel this guy through this interaction for some reason. I have learned to trust women on men 95% of the time. And in the 5% chance that I don't trust a woman, it is usually a trans man I'm trusting. That's really where I'm doing this at. It's really interesting. It's interesting. So let's read more. We got into a huge argument over this, and he wants to just stay home and do nothing all day and wait for him to get home. We got into a huge argument over this, and he wants us to stay home and do nothing all day and wait for him to get home to maybe go to dinner or find a different weekend to go. You could have talked to your family and organized the situation in a better variety than this, because I feel as though you were absolutely just pushing to the side the needs of your family because you're supposed to be there for your family. Being a provider and an important figure of the family is also being there emotionally for the family, and not just a financial source of income and somebody that gives love in their own specific odd dad kind of way. That's a very odd thing to do. It just seems strange to do it that way. Maybe I'm dumb. I say he can do whatever he wants. I just wanted to do that. I just felt I can do whatever he wants, but I will be taking the kids to the zoo that day for a birthday with or without him. And that's if it's not a big deal for him to miss her birthday. Then it shouldn't be a big deal to miss the activity for her birthday either. Okay. Fair. I think having a child is probably the most important moment in your life, right? I think that's the most important moment if you do decide to have a child. I think it's very important if you want to have a child. And obviously, you can fill your bucket list, maybe you get a career motion, but bringing life into this earth, if you want to have a child, should be a very important thing because you decided to do that action, and you should spend your time as a parent nurturing and caring and providing for that child because they didn't ask to be born. They simply are here, and you should actively take the time out to make them have a good existence. It's gonna sound crazy. Same way I feel about my cat and my dog. I want them to have a really good life. Or if I have an animal of any sort, they have a short lifespan. I want them to have a good life. And if in the beginning stages, because think about what a child really is, right? What is really a child? A child is half you and half the person you love. That should make it wild, especially if you're a narcissist. That's half you, buddy. That's half you. You should love that child at least as much as yourself, at least half as much, especially if you're a little narcissistic in some capacity. And it's the person you love. That's your partner. So they should have a good president of your life. President of the United States of America. They should take importance in your life is what they should do, is how I feel. Now he's slumping around and saying he would just do whatever I want. So he's slumping around saying he will just do whatever I want so he doesn't have to deal with me. BITCHING. CMPFIRS, the Wendy song. What a disgusting term to use. I hate this term a lot. Looking at the word a lot of the time doesn't really feel like a word, to be quite honest with you. I sometimes forget it's a word, or more so it's a cuss word. I don't see it that often. I don't see this word that often. It's ass, bitch, cunt, like the ABCs of cuss words, and I always forget about the B. I always forget about the bisexuals, honestly. Everybody forgets about the B and the LGBTQ. Bisexuals aren't real. Is it a big deal to go play golf and therefore not see your child on her birthday, or am I overreacting? You should see your child. I feel like you should see your child. Let's read a comment here. Per your history, your husband has questionable relationships with other women, failed out of school for partying too much, is selfish with his money, and now he and his selfish family are choosing golf and partying over your child. You asked what your palm reading was. It spells out divorce. Who is this person? Where did that information come from? What? Does this person have more history that I don't know about? Hold on a sec. I gotta figure something out. Hold on. Oh, they went to her. She did ask for a palm reading. What can you tell me? Is there a Reddit for palm reading? What is this supposed to do? How do you do this over the thing? I'm not sure. What? I forgot to add that I'm right-handed. You have one emotional setback. Same right now. More support at 30. You were successful for it. Maybe this time. Is this a real Reddit? I'm sorry. I just went on another deep dive. Is this a real Reddit for palm reading? I want to go on here and just BS and say very Barnum effect garbage. If you don't know what the Barnum effect is, it's what the people do with horoscopes where they just make a bunch of general statements. I really want to just do that. This is crazy. It's a lot of women on here. A lot of women. Lot of male. Okay, males. I just saw a lot. I just saw like women in a row. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. A lot of women on here. A lot of women. Another male. Indian. Okay. Oh god. We got. Oh, I was gonna. I need to see some sausage on here. A little bit of meat. I need to see some meat in the building. You know what I mean? You left out the Reddit death sentence. Her husband is a cop. Okay, so there's so much information here. There's so much information I'm learning. This is amazing. All right, let me give my entire thoughts about the entire situation just as a whole bulk. So obviously the husband is ridiculous and he is an a-hole, and she is not overreacting about the entirety of having her daughter's birthday, who's 2, mind you, 2 years old. That is a very important fundamental shaping moment of a child's life where you should be there for the child. I'm not quite sure why the father would want to do the golfing tournament with the family. The fact that he's a cop, the girl's asking for palm readings. There's so much going on in this family. I didn't even need to guess that they were white. I just could assume just based on the golfing tournament. I don't know. Maybe if there was a spades tournament, maybe my dad would leave for that. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if there are spades tournaments. Maybe if there was dominoes. Maybe there was a cookout somewhere. He missed my birthday party. I'm not quite sure. That just seems crazy. I don't know. You say Little League. You say golf. You say the casino. I'm just going to assume Caucasian. And that's obviously typecasting and me being prejudiced, obviously. And you shouldn't be prejudiced towards people you don't know. I don't know, sometimes. I don't know, it's kind of funny sometimes. Obviously, I'm hamming it up for the camera right now, but this is a very disgusting situation. Hopefully, she talks to him. I know she's obviously not going to leave him. They have a child together. He might be the pure financial benefactor in the entire relationship. I'm not quite sure what she has going on. She's asking for palm readings online. I don't think she's... I feel like she'd get scammed by an African prince somehow. I don't know. There's a correlation there somewhere, but I refuse to make it some way. It's just how it is. It's a whole lot of stuff. And I want to point this out. You'll meet a lot of people with a grandiose sense of spirituality that think they know better than the actual knowing of somebody giving them good advice. People that reject therapy or something of that variety. I've met many people of this variety because when you have spiritual understanding of the world, you don't need some hack doctor telling you a lot of this stuff, right? So she's asking for palm readings online because she's looking for a method out that probably is better than what everybody else is saying because the other methods aren't working. And she's looking for something spiritual and meaningful in her life because her life is so mundane. Her life is so bad that she needs something mythical to happen because she has to have some greater purpose in it. And I think that's the bigger thing we have to coalesce from this entire situation. The palm reading thing caught me wildly left field. I'm not going to lie to you. I wish nothing but goodness and faith and many blessings. What did they say? What do the palm readers say? Mombasa? Did they say Mombasa? I can't remember the term. What's the term? Grand risings? Many blessings? Something, it's gonna escape me. It's some kumbaya. What's the word? Astrology people, help me out. As above, so below. That's a really good movie. My wife showed me that. That's a good movie. That's a really good movie. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about the entire situation in the comment section down below. I've been me, and I'm out. Peace. Bye.
Good evening. Salutations. How's the day going for you? Did you make sure you get some oatmeal in your system? I'm going to keep encouraging oatmeal every single day until you decide to actually eat oatmeal and not put any sugars in it. Please just eat some regular oatmeal. You need those complex carbs inside of your body. Eat some other proteins too. Hanging out with a guy recently and he kept telling me Snickers are the best protein. Oh my God, I love having a Snickers. It's so delicious. This is going to be so good for me, and it's going to have chocolate, and chocolate gives protein. No, that's not healthy. Not healthy at all. But I'm not here to critique your life choices right now, even though I just critique your life choices. I'm here to critique the life choices of some random people on the internet with an Am I the A-hole? AITA. Let's get right into it. Am I the a-hole? I lost my childhood friend of 15 years for not letting his girlfriend claim the master bedroom for themselves on our Airbnb. Women, am I right, fellas? A little bit disrespectful. I can't believe this. What are they, young? Me, 34. 34? We middle-aged? We middle-aged letting this happen? Oh my, 15 years? Okay, let's loop this back. Me, 34M, my friend John, 34 male. Okay, have been close for 15 years. We lived together at one point and basically considered each other brothers. We're Eskimo bros. We're locked in. We're dogging to each other. We're great. We're both Nords and Sovereign Guard. A few years ago, he got into a relationship with Amy, 37. John has never been a very emotional or sentimental guy, so when he decided he wanted to marry her, and he asked me and another mate to be his groomsmen, we were both genuinely happy for him. Oh, you guys are groomsmen? Oh, that's beautiful. This is already an encapsulating, beautiful, lovely, and outstanding story. I love the lore you're giving me. You guys were at each other's weddings. This is outstanding. No petty argument could possibly destroy this. So now I'm just a little bit confused. How petty was the argument? How deep was the disrespect? One thing he mentioned, though, was that he wished Amy and I got along better. Apparently, she had been saying I wasn't really making an effort with her, which honestly confused me because I feel like I had. I don't know what's going on here. Whenever we were at their place for drinks or hangouts, I'd always greet her, talk to her, and try to include her in games or conversations because she's naturally shy and reserved. If anything, I feel like I was the only one initiating conversations. I feel like I was the one initiating conversations. And there are a lot of partners that, obviously aren't used to the friends groups and things of that variety. So I can kind of understand where he's coming from and how it can be interpreted differently, but this is more so a battle of interpretations, and I'm not here to get subjective. I'm here to get objective about what's going on here. Anyway, fast forward and our friend group organized an overnight getaway. Oh, that's joyous. Me and my partner were organizing it for about 10 people. We found a really good Airbnb everyone liked, except John and Amy. Took ages deciding if they were coming. By the time they finally responded, the place was unavailable. Oh, indecisive. I don't like that. John, man, you gotta get on with it. Amy, you gotta get on with it too. Amy the Hedgehog, come on now. Amy Rose, please, we gotta get this done. You decided you like Sonic the Hedgehog but can't decide an Airbnb? That's ridiculous. We found a backup Airbnb, but it was smaller, meaning that not every couple will automatically get their own room. In our group, we always had a tradition where we play drink games, so whoever wins gets a fixed personal room. Dumb maybe, but it was always fun and a fair system. I think that's fun. I think having a little harmless drunkenness, I think getting your brain cells destroyed, annihilating your body, getting your liver annihilated, getting that gallbladder, maybe presenting kidney stones to your body, is a fun way to decide on simply a room. I think that's fair. And also, when you really think about it from the outset, you can see that John and Amy are the biggest issue in this entire thing because, and this is going to sound crazy, John and Amy are the biggest issue simply by virtue of they didn't decide, so they lost the bigger Airbnb. So that's the whole thing there. It just seems goofy in that variety. I messaged John asking if they were still keen to come, and he replied saying Amy wasn't comfortable sharing a room with other people. Okay, all right, completely fair, very nice, then don't come. I mean, it's an Airbnb, unless you want to get another Airbnb. I reminded him that we always decide rooms fairly, and it wouldn't be fair to make an exception just for them. See, that just makes sense because you lost the drinking game. You value your body too much. It's simple as your body that you only get one of in this lifetime. You valued it too much. Unless one day we decide we can get bigger bodies or better bodies, and we can actually figure out how to get a separate body from our current body. Like I think it was Blade Runner where they had the separate bodies. That's the whole thing. That's a little bit goofy. Later, he came back saying, "Well, why don't you share your room with someone else so we can have it?" I'm confused too. Why don't you share your room with someone else so we can have it? All right. And that honestly shocked me because it felt completely out of character for him. I told him I didn't think that it was fair to ask of me or anyone else. After that, they decided not to come at all. Perfect. I mean, that's great. Good. You already ruined the first Airbnb and you're not going to come to the second one because you don't get your room. Dude, that's fair. Please don't come. You are a buzzkill. You are ruining this for everybody, and the needs of many outdo the needs of one all the time. That's really how it should be in most situations. What bothered me most was that there were other solutions. They could have helped us look for a bigger place or suggested alternatives, but instead it felt like Amy got upset. We didn't immediately give them what they wanted. So she is just a little bit of a nag. She's a little bit of an angry person. And I want to point this out. I've encountered so many relationships where the guy will change everything he's doing, everything in his life just to appease his partner because he doesn't want to be lonely, or he's very happy with his relationship, so he's willing to sacrifice his friendships. And if that relationship fails, who does he have to go back on? That's right, his friendships. So he should be boldening and strengthening those friendships over time and figuring out how to balance those two things. You can't just give up your entire friendships just based on one relationship. It seems goofy to do that. Seems a little bit goofy to do that. Wow, don't really understand why you do that, but let's go on and read more about this. And after that, everything between me and John basically died. No messages, no invites, nothing. That's crazy. That's actually insane. 19 years, and because of this? That's crazy. They ended up having a wedding in secret with only her friends and family there. None of John's long-term friends were invited anymore. They since had a baby, and I don't even know the child's name. Yo, that's insane. I guess people take different life paths, obviously. That's really sad. That's the most sad thing I've ever heard. That's disgusting. I'm getting married next year, and honestly, don't even know if John would come if I invite him. I like how he's still trying to invite his friend, and that's going on. Maybe, you know what, I'm gonna look at this from her perspective for one moment. Maybe she didn't like the drinking games. Maybe John didn't like the drinking games. Maybe you're actually a bunch of violent alcoholics and do a bunch of stupid games. Who knows? I'm not getting the full context here. I just know that he for some reason decided that this entire friendship of 15 years was not worth it overall. I just decided that that seems to be the bigger issue and problem, and there seems to be other underlying issues in this whole debacle that we're not actually coming to an understanding on. And I would like to figure out all the other issues, because it seems as though this is a bit much bigger than what you're making it seem to be. This seems to be a much more gigantic issue than you're even describing, because over the Airbnb seems a bit much, unless they're just that unreasonable as people and you're not describing all the other underlying issues and the friendship. There might be something else that we don't know. I feel as though I can't fully trust this entire story, but also it is a really drastic. It seems just drastic. I just feel like it feels so unnecessary to do all this stuff. I think what hurts most is losing a 15-year friendship over something that feels so small. Part of me feels like Amy probably pushed him to choose between a relationship and his friendship, and he chose her, which I can understand to a degree, but still sucks. Maybe I'm missing something, but it still feels surreal that this is what ended such a long friendship. Maybe, and this is, I don't know, maybe you're not understanding what could have happened. I'm not quite sure. This screams abusive relationship, and you probably forced him to give us friendship. Send her a message telling you miss him and you'll always be for it, and then wait. You could do that. That's interesting. That's fair. That's interesting. You didn't lose the friendship over something small. You lost it over the exact. Ooh, I just lost it. I just lost it. Oh my goodness. I lost that whole thing. Okay, well, ignore that comment. That's not important. It doesn't matter. Amy 100% manipulated the situation. She used her shyness as a way to claim others were not trying with her. He has made him likely feel bad for not giving her more attention in social situations, and then use the Airbnb situation to fully isolate him from his support group. I suggest you reach out to him. Hey, I miss you, dude. Life has a habit of getting in the way as we get older, but it would be great if we could meet up and catch up. We've been friends for years. It would be a shame to let that fade. Also, I'm getting married soon and would love to have you there. It puts the ball in his court, tells him how you feel, and leaves the door open, and maybe start reflecting on why things become distance and if the distance is healthy. Sometimes it takes years for abuse victims to realize it's abuse, especially for men who are victims of emotional control and abuse like this, as it can deeply be shaming to admit to and hard to see, as many equate abuse with physical or sexual only. They forget there's coercive emotional control, cyber, financial. True, that's a very fair point. You know, I really don't know. I know it seems pretty cut and dry that everybody's saying Amy is abusive, but we don't know if maybe he didn't like the drinking or something of that variety. I'm not quite sure. I really don't. This is a really confusing one for me, because I kind of understand like what it's like to have a bunch of friends who drink all the time but decide by drinking and all this stuff. And the original post seems so reasonable and poised, but that doesn't really mean much when it comes to we may be getting manipulated. But this is really just an arbitrary situation, and we're not really gonna know what's going on. We can't really know the deeper confines of how our lives go. I think that I'm gonna say this is gonna be a little bit controversial. Everyone sucks here. Because I tentatively don't know, I'm going to say Amy sucks. I'm going to say John sucks. I'm going to say you suck as well, OP. I'm going to say that because I tentatively do not know. I do not know. And I think we should get more information about the entire situation. That's how I am. I feel so fence-sittery saying this because people want definitive answers, but I really don't have enough information to go off of. I really don't. If it's just over the Airbnb, that's wildly crazy and drastic, but it may be other underlying issues. But I'm a little man on the internet. Please let me know what you think about the entire situation. I'm curious what you have to say about it. With that being said, I've been me. I'm out. Peace. Bye. Good evening and salutations, my lovely landlubbers of the internet. How are we doing this fine, illustrious day? Did you make sure you got all the protein you need? Why is everything in America have protein? If you go to Tim Hortons or a Starbucks, they have 7 different varieties of protein coffee. I have a theory that they're putting all this protein in our body so we get strong enough to work endless hours, because we're going to be slaves to the AI overlords, and we need more protein in our body in order to make sure we have enough energy in our body. I'm getting a little bit terrified that everything has protein in it. Enough with my very reasonable and insane conspiracy theories. Let's talk about this story today that I got from a fan about Reddit. It is an Am I the A-hole story, and we're gonna get right into it. Would I be the a-hole if I leave my child with my husband after we divorce? Leaving anything with a man is a disrespectful decision, and I cannot recommend doing that in any capacity. So naturally, I'm gonna say immediately that you are a psychopath. I gotta stop saying psychopath. That is such a dehumanizing term. You are the Joker, baby. That's easier. Yeah, Joker, baby. That's a lot easier. So let's see what they get doing. I, 28 female, and my husband, soon to be ex 35 male, have been married for 6 years. We have a 2-year-old son, and we both love him to bits. Oh, that's cute. I'm happy you both love him to bits. Our problem started after our son was born, as we had very different ideas about raising him, and things became quite complicated. I feel like these are things you should have probably discussed prior to getting married. Maybe you have a conversation talking about how deeply, man, I want my son to be gay. I wanted a thought daughter. Maybe that'd be fun to figure out. I feel like you shouldn't figure this out after you have the baby. That should be something you should probably priorly discuss, but not everybody is ready to discuss those big intimate topics. Maybe for the 4 years you were together, you were just, going crazy, balls to wall, smacking each other's basket hands on each other and just smacking each other's butts and having a fun time in the bedroom, and then you decided to have a child and then discover that you guys have different parenting styles. That happens a lot. Who knows? We can discover that, but I'm happy you guys discovered that you guys couldn't be together. Even though I've tried to make it work in the past year and a half, I just couldn't take it anymore, especially being called a narcissist and a bad mother with no empathy. Whoa, that's horrifying. Now, I can't take your side just yet, because you could very well much be a narcissist and a bad mother with no empathy. Who knows? I have no idea. Not sure. So I've turned to Reddit to ask your opinion. This already proves you're a crazy person coming to Reddit. This already proves you coming to Reddit already proves you're not a good judge of character. I'm currently living in a European country on a visa permit, and I've been here for 4 years. Okay. All right. Amazing. Good job, Puzzled Newspaper, apparently. That's apparently your name. Love to see it. Okay. I am a stay-at-home mom and have studied the language up to level A2. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're saying, terms that are foreign to me. This is esoteric knowledge. I've never even heard these terms in my entire life. A2? I'm English Q5. What does that mean? I don't know. It's quite hard, but I manage to communicate even if I make mistakes, and people usually understand it. Why are you giving me all this information about... You have given me so much information about your life. We're friends now. You know this, right? This little information is going to live inside of my head. Yeah, Puzzle Newspaper, she's She speaks European or whatever language they speak in Europe, and she's A2 at it. This is going to stay in my brain rent-free forever. I'm never going to forget this information now that I know this stupid little fact. My husband is a great father, very loving towards our son, and can provide everything he needs. I'm happy you still say that the husband is still a good man despite all the things that are going on. I like that. Our son loves him deeply too. Gay son. Love to see it. As soon as I see the word love and father, I'm like, homosexual. Love to see it. I've been through a tough time, and it was my first pregnancy, and I had no help or support. My husband says he supported me a lot, and maybe I couldn't fully understand his effort and sacrifices. Now the love is gone from his heart. There's so much information that I appreciate all the pre-context. Thank you for the appetizer before I get to the full course meal. I appreciate that. Is it appetizer or appetizer? I feel like appetizer makes sense. I've been saying appetizer for a long time, but someone told me recently that it's appetizer. I just assumed appetizer because it's the teaser before the full film of the food. I just thought that made sense. Is it appetizer? Because if it's appetizer, that's definitely not an English word. That's definitely not a word that we use in English in any capacity. Appetizer makes more sense considering English phonetics and how stupid they make words. Anyways, let's get back to this. My question is, would I be a bad mother if I leave our son with my husband after divorce? I want to study and work so I can save money and build a better life for myself and hopefully become a better parent for my son in the future as well. So you want to do what a man does, huh? You want to be an absentee mother slightly. You want to focus on your career. You want to focus on what you want to do with your life. You want to do something that women don't do regularly. I got to appreciate that. You are redefining all gender roles. You are going above and beyond. You have taken the role of a man. I love seeing women dominate in male fields. That is so powerful. I love it so much. That's really beautiful. I think you should definitely leave your son with your husband, because I think this would be a fun experiment to see how it actually goes. Edit. Okay, we got to edit here. The divorce is mutual, and the custody we agreed to is 50-50. Love seeing 50-50 relationships. And I'm not running away from the responsibility for my son. For the past 2 years, I have loved him and did everything a mother can do. Feed him, clean him, bathe him, play with him 24/7. Okay, that's pretty much what you have a child. So that's what you're supposed to do. First, I wanted to First, I wanted to had his custody, but my son is very attached to his father, and me agreeing for is because I want my mental health back to normal and start working since I have no income. English is not this person's first language, I imagine. When we would separate, he would be going to kindergarten from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. My husband would go to work this way and they spend evenings together, and I'll be having my son Friday to Sunday. Okay, so it's just joint custody, but you get the lesser time and the father gets the main time. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's not insane. English is not my first language. I wouldn't have guessed. I am sorry for the misleading title. I tried to use Am I a Bad Mother, but it wouldn't post due to its rules. Secondly, I am not moving countries. I'll be staying in the same city 20 minutes away from each other so we can easily meet each other. As for my husband, he has diagnosed me as a narcissist himself through chat GPTs. There's so much. Why did you even... This is such a side-winding information. I think that your husband shouldn't be speaking to AI about therapy terms and things of that variety to figure out about how you are as a person. That seems insane. He's going to get AI psychosis perhaps, or maybe he is already in AI psychosis, and it's not healthy to raise a child in that variety around AI. I feel as though this is all bad. There's so many issues. You give me so much context and also told me nothing at the same exact time, so I'm caught in this loop, in this carousel of complete gobbledygooked information, of you telling me information that I shouldn't know, and there's information that I desperately should know. This should be significantly longer. You can't give me bread when you've promised me steak. I feel as though there's so much bread here, just fluff over and over again, just to fill me up on all this information. You're jumping from plot point to plot point. You'll be a horrible story writer. There's so much going on here. Maybe use ChatGPT to, I don't know, clean this up maybe? I'm not quite sure. I don't know. This is crazy. When I started going to therapy, my psychologist told me the behaviors I have is totally normal and I'm not a narcissist at all. Okay, great. I'm happy the psychologist told you that. That's good to get a word from a psychologist. That's amazing. People who have seen me tells me the same. Okay, it's just my husband that keeps saying I'm a narcissist and don't love our son. I think it's because you're deciding to perhaps give all the responsibility to him and focus on yourself, and you focusing on yourself makes the husband feel like you are a narcissist in totality because he's not used to women actually taking on their more doing what they want to do. He's 35, so I imagine maybe an issue with age. He's, I believe, millennial at that point, so he may just be thinking in terms of, oh, she doesn't care about our kids because she wants me to take care of the kid most of the time, and women are usually the caretakers of the role. That's really what I think is going on there. I love my son a lot, and that's why I'm doing this for him, so I could come back mentally stronger, so that no one's attitude or actions hurt me easily. In this past 6 years of relationship, he has never been wrong. He has never been wrong, even if he has been, he never says sorry. For all the time, I'm the one wrong always. Your husband sounds like an a-hole. I'm not gonna lie to you, it feels like you were just kind of in a mentally toxic or slightly mentally abusive relationship with a man that doesn't want you to better your future, and you decided to have a son with him, and now you're trying to choose for yourself and do what men do in the relationship, but you don't have the freedom to do what men do, so now you're stuck in this loop. In the country I am living in, all I have is my husband and son, and my husband loves to stonewall emotionally and tell me that I'm a bad mother. Even after all these mental abuses, I love him dearly. That's why I accepted the divorce, just to let him go. There's so much. I feel as though this is great for you to not do this. Sadly, there's a child involved, so that's not really healthy to have. Why is there an image of Gru down here? This is an ad. It's an ad. When in the morning, I told him that I would be a bad mother if I leave our son with him. He said, no, you would be a great mother, and your sacrifice for our son will go to waste when you live some time alone and start working on yourself mentally. He is supportive, but not much as husband. I am so perplexed by everything I just read. So he's a good person, a bad husband, but he wants you to do this for yourself, and you're blaming yourself for, I don't even know what's going on. I feel as though I gotta read some, are the comments as confused as me? I don't know. I have no idea. I feel like I should read some comments. I feel like reading the comments may help me out. Let's see if I'll get less confused. Let's check it out. Not the a-hole. Men do it all the time. Is it wrong for you because you're a woman? He'll be in a good situation to support it and still in regular contact from you. Something in pretty much every divorce ever, just with gender role swapped. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at too. Just with gender role swapped. Okay. Before you make any decisions, you need therapy. Sounds like you're far from family in another country, and pregnancy is a lonely experience. Even at the best of times, your husband is insisting he was supportive, but that doesn't mean it was true. And if he generally tends to shout down your feelings, I'll bet you don't have the best self-esteem and mental health. So before you decide anything which may permanently affect your son, see a therapist and make sure you're not just running away because you have some depression or low self-esteem issues lying to you. You need to be sure of what you're doing and aware of its effects. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You are NTA. I say this as a mother of 3. You need to do what is best for your child right now. That means getting yourself in the best position to raise him. You can be a mother and not have sole custody of him. I would just make sure any custody agreement has your rights and your son's visitation protected. So it seems to be a 50-50 relationship. It's not even that bad of a situation, to be quite honest with you. I don't think this person is an a-hole, realistically. I think it's just a regular, just seems like a regular situation to me. That's what I'm seeing. But I am merely one man on the internet with small belly button holes that don't go anywhere besides inside of my body, and they don't actually get me further in life. Let me know how you feel about this situation, and let me know if they are the a-hole. In any event, thank you guys so much for checking out my video. If you have any suggestions for AITAs, go ahead and message me either on Discord or Instagram. Just message me the link to the Reddit story. There's a high chance that I'll see it. With that being said, I'm out. Peace. Bye. Is your belly warm? Did you have oatmeal? Do you understand what complex carbs are? Do you know there's different kinds of proteins? Did you know that clouds weigh 1,000,000 pounds? That terrifies me every day. I look up in the sky and see a cloudless sky, and I get very happy about that. But as soon as I see clouds, what if they come down one day and crush my weak little body? They weigh as much as many elephants. How do we even weigh a cloud? Is it because of the water density? How is it that heavy and floating up there? Everything about this earth terrifies me every day, and I think that deep in the confines of the ocean, creatures from outer space landed there because most of the ocean was water. Well, most of the world is water. Not most of the ocean is water. All the ocean is water, technically. I think of that all the time. There might be microbes from space deep and hidden inside the ocean, and there may be a comet down there, and Cthulhu might actually be real, and you can't reason with insanity, and that's why I can't reason with MAGA supporters or Trump supporters, because they mess up my brain every single day. Oh my goodness, I think about this, it makes me so scared and horrified. Anyways, enough about being horrified about the great abyss and the deep dark chasm of deep existential crisis. Let's talk about Am I the A-hole? A fun little human-centered story, and we're talking about that because a fan sent it in. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more AmITAs. Anyways, let's get right into it. Am I the a-hole for kicking my mom out of my wedding after what she said? Well, what did she say? This is very vague. See, this is the beauty of vague posting. This is the beauty of vague posting on Maine. You caught me. Now I'm enticed. I love to see it. I, 25F, and my husband, 25 male, my mom, 45F. A lot of young people, very young people. So she must have had you at what, 24? Very young family. Very young, attractive, beautiful. I can be a fourth year family. I like this. That's really good. I need outside opinions because my family is making me feel like I completely overreacted. Now, I haven't read the story yet, but I'm just gonna guess, and it's just my assumption here. Since you are a woman, they're immediately gonna say everything you do is an overreaction. If I could be so bold to say, if I could just toss a guess, if I had a dartboard and I was tossing darts at it, I would probably hit a bullseye there. Let's just go ahead and see if I'm correct. I, 25F, just got married 2 weeks to my husband, 22M. This is a pretty good age dynamic. This is probably the only age dynamic where Twitter wouldn't have a conniption. You're only 1 year apart, that's safe, that's legal. But if he was 26 and you were 21, you're a child. It's pretty much pretty good. Pretty good. I wanted to talk about that for a second because the infantilization of a small difference in age gap has gotten crazy. I saw somebody complaining that a 38-year-old was dating a 29-year-old. It was like, that's too big of a difference. That's nearly 10 years. And I was thinking that, I feel like that's stupid. I feel like that's a fair age. I feel like that's fine. I feel like they're both adult enough to decide what they want to do. It feels a little bit goofy. I'm not here to talk about age dynamics, though. I'm here to talk about this story. I know we're young, but we've been together for 3 years, and this wasn't a rush decision. 3 years is a pretty good amount of time to decide if you want to marry somebody, considering people get eloped within a week. So 3 years is pretty good. I think you spent a good amount of time discovering that. So there must be a reason you would include this detail, so let's figure out in the future. This will be a tool that'll help us later. This mouse tool will help us. The issue is with my mom, 45F. She has always been very controlling and has never really approved of any major decision I've made, especially this relationship. Okay, all right, so your mom hates you. That's good. And you know what? A lot of moms hate their daughters. Want to know why a lot of moms hate their daughters? Let me do a little bit of a side here right quick. A lot of moms hate their daughters because their fathers are in love with their daughters. And because when a mother sees their daughter They see a younger, prettier version of themselves. As the mom gets older and loses their beauty, the daughter gets prettier each day, and then they have to deal with that. And the father gives more attention to the daughter because the father's a creep and the mother's a narcissist. And you have a horrible family dynamic overall because you have a narcissistic mother who insults her daughter all the time, and then you have the father who actively is looking at a younger, prettier version of his own wife. And the fact that the daughters usually look a little bit like the dad, he gets to see a little bit of himself. So if he's a narcissist, he's really enjoying his daughter. Hence why he protects the daughter so much. That's why a lot of dads get really upset when the daughters gets a boyfriend, because if they share like a daughter has the dad's face a little bit, then it's basically him getting back shots from the guy, and he has to think about that. He doesn't want to think about that, and he thinks it's disrespectful to him for that to happen, and he hates that indefinitely. It's half of him getting back shots, and that hits him in the heart, and he hates that deeply. And the mom is also obsessed with the boyfriend. I'm like giving a crazy hypothetical, a very straw man hypothetical, hyper fantasy about this, but I promise you, this actually happens a lot of the time, where the mother is wildly jealous of the daughter because the daughter is just a younger, prettier version of just them. It's a phenomenon. It's a big phenom. Anyways, let's get back to this. She kept telling me I was too young and that I would regret it, but I still tried to include her in the wedding planning because she's my mom. I'm sorry, mother. Let me do some math here. 45 minus 21. Yeah, you had her when you were 24. Were you too young? Were you too young to have that? What age is good for marriage? What do you mean? It doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. Because she's my mom, that's fair. On the day of the wedding, everything is going fine until the speech. Hold on, this is a very dramatic Optimus Prime sentence. On the day of the wedding, everything was going fine until the speeches. That felt more Dragon Ball Z than Optimus Prime. Let me try. On the day of the wedding, everything was going fine until the speeches. I'm just testing out voice acting right now with all you guys. Do you guys enjoy the voice acting? You're having a fun time? You guys are here to experience my schizoaffective brain just go haywire every time I read something. Out of nowhere, my mom grabbed the microphone without asking and started giving a speech. At first, I thought it was normal, but then she started saying that I was making a mistake, that my husband wasn't right for me, and that in a few years, I'd come crawling back home crying. Oh my God. And you know what? She sucks. My daughter's an idiot, and I hate her boyfriend because he's stupid too. They're too young. She's obviously an idiot. She doesn't understand that she's too young to even get married. She doesn't understand marriage. She doesn't know hardships. I worked hard, and she's prettier than me. Yeah, I'm 45, but I still got it. I want to be with her boyfriend. I hate everybody here. Thank you for the wedding. I'm happy we spent all this money on this wedding, but I'm gonna ruin it because I'm gonna make this moment about me. You know how much weddings cost? Weddings cost so much money. And this is the beauty of the wedding industrial complex, right? You spend all this money on the wedding, right? All this money on the wedding. And then you go into debt with your partner, so you learn how to financially budget with your partner. And weddings are supposed to be this bonding moment where you both go into debt together because you're legally binded to take that debt on together. It's such a beautiful, disgusting, nasty, capitalistic trend of paying for everybody, and everybody tries to bring a gift, but you got to carry the wedding, find the venue, get the dresses, which are ungodly amounts of money, and then you got to pay for the groom stuff and everything. You got to do the honeymoon stuff afterwards, and then it's all this stuff. Weddings cost so much money. It's genuinely disgusting. It's nasty. Anyways, she said this in front of everyone, our families, friends, my in-laws, literally everyone. I was completely shocked and honestly humiliated. My husband looked devastated, and the whole room went silent. She kept going for a few minutes like nothing was wrong. I want to see what she said. I want to see what she said. I really want to see what she said, because man, that may be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That's just crazy. When she finally stopped, I went up to her and calmly told her that she needed to leave. I didn't scream or cause a scene. I just said she wasn't welcome after what she did. Wow, that's crazy. This is completely. I'm a chapter this, so you can skip this part. This is completely unrelated to the entire video. Anybody ever have honey barbecue chips? Why do honey barbecue chips taste the same thing as honey mustard? Is it the honey part? Do they actually use honey within the mustard? How do they decide honey barbecue? Do they put honey inside a barbecue? I'm not quite sure. Are there honey barbecue Pringles? I know there's honey mustard Pringles because I have honey mustard Pringles somewhere around me. But I think that honey barbecue and honey mustard, is there honey ketchup? If you just add honey to something, does that improve the quality of that said thing? There's honey ham. A lot of honey things here. Why is everything in America carnival food? This has been living in my brain rent free. and I have nobody to talk to this with, and I don't really understand why everything is carnival food. About 90% of the things in a grocery store are basically just, and if I'm crazy if I say this, but I'm just gonna say it anyway, carnival food. They're all sugar based, they're all crazy. I don't understand what's going on there. I don't know. It feels crazy for me to say that. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe my back is going to grow wings. I'm going to meet God and fight him. And I'm going to cause another war causing Ragnarok or something deeper than redemption. Is it Ragnarok, redemption? What is it called? The rapture. Something with an R. A lot of R words there. Ragnarok, redemption, rapture, Ragnabelder. It's fun. Ragnavalder. I'm thinking of Fear and Hunger. Fear and Hunger is a great game you should play, by the way. And also look outside. I'm not going to play any video games on this channel, but I am planning a video game video one of these days. So that's going to be fun for you guys, I imagine. Anyways, back to the story. Sorry I went on a little side tangent there. If you're watching this in your car or having a fun time, maybe you're thinking about these thoughts same as me. Maybe you're also scratching your belly right now. Maybe you're picking your nose and hoping nobody sees you at that red stoplight. Maybe you're actually doing that. I'm looking at you, David. Based on the metrics of my videos, eventually some guy named David is going to watch this video. He's going to be picking his nose at the exact time. He's going to say, hey, how'd you know that? That's crazy. Hopefully you comment, hopefully you subscribe, and hopefully you know that I'm actually in your backseat watching you every single day. And I'm actually using this as a moment to experience our friendship in a deeper and meaningful way. Back to the story. She immediately started crying and said she was trying to protect me. Oh, she's a narcissist. She's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She's nuts. She's off a bean. She's off a perk. She's off a rocker. She must have been drunk. She's crazy. That's nuts. I don't know what's going on here. Did I already say when she finally stopped and went down and I told her to leave and didn't scream because that's what she did? I feel like I already said that. I lost my place in this story. Anyways, she said she was just trying to protect me and I was being ungrateful. Some relatives tried to get me to let her stay, but I stood my ground and she left. Stand your ground laws. You should have just hit her with a Desert Eagle right there in between the eyes and let her gray matter hit the pavement and let it garnish the cake. That would have been outstanding. I was thinking the word fumigate, but fumigate wouldn't have been the correct word. That's why I stopped right there, because I was thinking of the word garnish. I was trying to extend my thought process. Since then, things have been a mess. A lot of my family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, have been texting me saying I went too far, that she's still my mother. You guys suck. I hate everybody in this family. You guys are disgusting. I have trife. You disgusting, filthy mongrels of human beings. You snail-skulled little vitriolic, nasty, festering little rabbits. You agitate the hell out of me. I hate when people use the, she's still your mother. You disrespected me at my wedding. You disrespect me. You disrespect everything I am. I don't care if you gave birth to me. You shouldn't have disrespected me. You have no control over my life. You have no agency in my life, despite the fact that you gave birth to me. I don't care if you're my mother. I don't care about that. I don't care about family. I don't care about the DNA that we share. You have chosen to show how you are as a person, and I have grown past you. You disgust me. And that I humiliated her by kicking her out. Meanwhile, my friends and my husband think I did the right thing. And that's your true family. And that's your true family. And those are the people you actually want to talk to. Ignore your aunts, uncles, and grandparents. Get them out of there. Who cares about them? They're completely worthless. For more context, my mom has always been trying to control my life. What are the odds? And this isn't the first time she crossed a boundary, just the most public and hurtful. Now she's not speaking to me, and part of my family is taking her side. I'm trying to question if I should apologize just to keep the peace, even though I still feel hurt about what she said. Am I the a-hole for kicking her out of the wedding? Not even slightly, not even a little bit, not even a smidgen messed up. Let's go and read these comments real fast. I'm gonna read the comments. Perfect opportunity to go to NC with Mommy Dearest and her enablers. What is NC? I don't know what NC. North Carolina? I don't know what North Carolina, I don't know what that means. Anyways, I get it, she's your mom, but listen to me. No normal. I honestly, okay, let me read this first. I honestly love my mom a lot and never expect to get to this point. That's what makes it so hard for me. I always knew she was very opinionated, but I didn't think she would publicly say something like that on my wedding. I'm still trying to process everything. I get it, she's your mom, but listen to me. No normal mother would ever do that to their daughter. That's beyond effed up. Like I wouldn't do that to an enemy. On their wedding day, she's not a good person. I would do that to my worst enemy. People always say, I wouldn't do this to my worst enemy. I would grab my enemy by the ankles, crack their skull onto the pavement, resurrect them, Frankenstein their body, use body parts from a person they hate, and then so they have to live with that inside of their brain, and also reconfigure their brain so their gray matter actually tells them that every time they get hurt, they enjoy it, and they're actually a slave to me. And then I would take their arms and then replace them with baby arms so they wouldn't be able to eat food, so they have to smash their face against the pavement in order to eat the dog food that I'm going to give them. And then I would would take out their spine, whip them around, and then use that spinal fluid in order to make a clone of themselves, so they have to fight a stronger, bigger version of themselves, and then blow them both up with 6 pounds of TNT and dynamite, and then the cops will question where I got the dynamite, and then I would blame it on him because I make a third clone and blame it on him, and then I'll rewire his brain just to say he took that from me. You guys don't have as much hate as I have in my heart. I have deep hatred inside of my spirit, mind, and body and soul, and there's no God, no spirit, no therapy that can save me, because that is the hate I have. You guys don't have strong enough enemies. I got real ops. I'm in Detroit, Michigan. I ain't got time for this. Anyways, yeah, that is a little messed up. She's really not a good person. And I'm worse. Anyways, for those saying that you humiliate her, remind them that she actually humiliated herself. FAFO. FAFO. For falafel onion. I don't know what that means, man. I don't know a lot of abbreviations. For any flipple obitory. I don't know what that means. She chose to get up. She chose to make that speech. She chose to disrespect you. She chose to disrespect your hubby. She chose to disrespect her entire family. She chose to show just how ugly she was on the inside. I'm so sorry. Grieve the person you thought she was while you accept you deserve better. Talk to him. That's beautiful. That's good. That's good. NTA, she humiliates you. She should be kicked out and not ask politely. She is doing an excellent job pushing you away until you go fully no contact with her. Even if she thought it was a mistake, there were countless ways to make that known to you, and not only you, and only you. Not make an unwanted speech at your whole wedding. She isn't someone you need in your life. Anyone says you were wrong ought to consider how they would have felt having their mother insult their partner at their wedding. It shows they have no empathy, that they support her disgusting behavior. This is so real. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. I wonder if anybody disagrees. There's no disagreements here. I like to see if there's any disagreements, because that's always fun. I don't know. There's no disagreements. So go no contact. That's no contact. NC means no contact. Oh my god. I understand. Program to go no contact with mommy. It's no contact. Wow, that makes so much sense. That's crazy. Well, that was riveting, enjoying, and outstanding. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I hope you have a lovely, beautiful, amazing time. Just let me know how you feel. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I lost my train of thought. I got reeled off my train of thought because I keep thinking about those honey barbecue chips. I don't know why. That's really all that's going through my mind right now. I think it's because I didn't eat right now, and my brain is stuck on the fact that I didn't eat anything, and all I have is basically snack food in my entire house. I want to make oatmeal, but that's too much effort and work, and I'm so compelled to DoorDash because convenience culture has ruined my ability to actually self-satisfy myself as a regular person, so I'm now relying on all these apps, and it's making me disgusting, and I know it's a horrible habit to have, but man, is it convenient, and I have to do so many things. I don't have enough time to do the things that I need to do, so I make all these videos every day, and it's a lot of stuff. Anyways, enough of me complaining about my life. I'm just gonna continue. Have a lovely internet wherever you're at. Eat some pizza. Eat some haggis. Eat some ham hocks. Bye.
Hello, my ostentatious orators of the oval internet. How are we doing this fine illustrious day? Did you put lotion on? A lot of people aren't putting lotion on, I'm discovering. Shook a man's hand and almost cut myself because of the nasty residue. The nasty vitriol gunk on his hands. Caught me a little bit off guard. Don't know what was going on there. But outside of my horrifying encounter with the nonsense man that tried to give me a handshake trying to sell me something from my house on the streets of Detroit, Michigan, I am here to talk about the a-hole. That's right. Chocolate Starfish is all around for everybody. Here's a company that actually you can send a mold of your butthole. You can send somebody chocolate of your butthole. A little couple's idea for you if any anniversaries are coming up. That'd be a fun, cute idea for you. Anyways, this story was sent in by a fan, so let's go ahead and get this read. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter I am disgusted by her and telling her ex she has been taking their kid to his family side? Whoa, that is a lot to unpack immediately. You immediately don't like your daughter. That's good. I like that right there. A lot of family drama. And then telling her ex she's been taking their kid to his family side. I think I gotta figure out why you're disgusted, because I think that's a little bit messed up. A little bit. Let's see here. Throwaway account. Okay, that's understandable. Would love to see it. Just some random name. Got a lot of karma for a throwaway account. Love to see it. That's beautiful. My daughter and oh wait, you got karma because of this post. I'm stupid. This was May 1st. Crazy. My daughter and Ryan, her ex, are 26 now. Just exposing names. Just exposing names. When they were both 18, my daughter got pregnant. They got an apartment together and started to raise their little family. They never got married, but Ryan's family pressured them to do it often. Multiple times, I heard them say, these two need to stop living in sin. Okay. Very religious. Love to see it. Marriage is important to the family. Understand their religious background. I grasp it. I'm caught up to speed. Let's keep it going. The issue was a year ago. Ooh, it's been about a year ago when Ryan was caught cheating and he is gay. I will always love bisexual erasure in all forms and every capacity because it destroys the notion that even for the slight possibility that somebody could be bisexual, they just say he's gay. Yeah, he had a child and he's gay. Maybe he's bisexual and found more pleasure in men and doesn't like the specific person that they're dating and decided to cheat, perhaps. That's what's going on there. A bisexual person cheating. That's the reality of what happened. We don't need bi-erasure and biphobia. I feel like that's very important. I sound so woke right now, but because I'm bisexual, so I always feel so strong when someone says, yeah, the husband was gay. I'm pretty sure he has kids, right? Yeah, well, there was a beard. He didn't really enjoy the children. He didn't really enjoy sex with her. He wanted men. Or maybe he's bisexual. Have we considered that he's bisexual? Have we considered that? Well, he was taking back shots. Okay, maybe she can put on a strap. I don't want to tell you, man. I feel as though he's gay. I want to read this again. Hold on. He is gay. This feels like a death sentence, dude. And it's and from a religious, I forgot about the religion. I thought I was called to Speed, but sadly Speed was catching up to me. I forgot about the religion. He's gay. He's a secret gay man. Oh, it's over. This is bad. Cheating and gay. The cheating is fine. They can deal with the cheating, but the gay? Oh no. The breakup was extremely messy, and in the end, the custody was 50-50. Love 50-50 relationships. God, I love 50-50 relationships. Half-half. Ryan's family is really religious. I wouldn't have guessed from this sentence, but thank you for clarifying. I can pick up on context clues. And when it came out, they were breaking. Oh, they were breaking. They were pissed when they learned Ryan was gay and disowned him. I was at my daughter's place helping her move out when I heard Ryan's mother call him a ooh, and his family is really messed up people. Okay, your daughter got cheated on, right? And I understand that you want to be empathetic towards the, gay man. Obviously, I grasp that. But, like, your daughter did get cheated on, right? Your daughter did. That is a real thing. We also can factor in that the daughter did get cheated on. I'd like to point out the daughter did get cheated on. That's a whole thing. And she was pregnant, so there's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. After he was disowned, for some reason, they thought it would give them access to the grandbaby. He basically told them to shove it. I know about this because they contacted me once to let them see the kid when I was babysitting. I told them no. Ooh, this is real specific. This is getting real specific because right now, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at right now. I'm on the daughter side right now. I am on the daughter side right now. The family is everyone sucks here, to be quite real with you. The person who is gay, Ryan, is messed up for cheating. He's evil for cheating. That's the whole thing. The daughter hasn't done anything yet besides let the baby be seen by the other part of the family, which I'm gonna keep reading. 50-50 has been a rough bit for my daughter. It is hard for her not to have her kid for major events. Example, Ryan had custody of the grandbaby during Easter, but he agreed to let my daughter have him that day so they can celebrate with my side of the family. My daughter was over to pick some stuff, and she showed me pictures from her latest weekend trip. In the picture, there was Ryan's mom and his two siblings. I asked what this was about, and she told me that she has been taking the kid to see them for a few months now. I asked if Ryan knew. I thought they got back in contact, and she told me no. I told her it was horrible to do, that they are bigots and disown their kid. She got defensive and went into an argument. She defended their kids around homophobes, and I told her I was disgusted by what she was doing. I informed Ryan. He thanked me, and now my daughter is super pissed. Ryan apparently is refusing to be lenient anymore with custody, so more getting the kid on not her day, even if my daughter wants them for some event. Okay, let me be so real with you right now. Whoever this person is should not have told. This is gonna sound crazy. Just hear me out. This is my own personal thing. Should not have told Ryan, because the daughter got cheated on by Ryan. Like, I don't want to forget this fact. Ryan was caught cheating. Is the only part that I care about. That's the most important thing. I understand that the family is religious homophobes. I grasp that, but I'm not respecting Ryan like at all in any capacity. I don't care about that. Him being gay. You know what this reminds me of? Ooh, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when a black person does something bad and people are saying, "Oh, they're only getting him because he's black." He's black, and so he's black, and he's black because he's black, and he's black. And no, you can be an evil person and black as well. You can be autistic and a bad person. You can be gay and a bad person. You being a specific quantifier or being a minority of any capacity does not exemplify you from being a bad person in any capacity. I'm not going to forget the fact that Ryan cheated. I understand that Ryan doesn't want Ryan's children to see, but Ryan didn't carry the child for 9 months. Ryan didn't do that. Ryan has no credence to do so. Ryan he cheated. If someone cheated on me, they're getting disrespected at every single turn of their life. And you decided to put a baby in me, you're cooked. It's over. You're done. It's so much. Your family's homophobes? Perfect. I want you to feel pain. I am so petty when it comes to this. Maybe I'm too petty. Maybe that's what it is. Because if you cheated on me and are gay and your family's religious, I'm starting to go to church. Every Wednesday, I'm going to Kingdom Hall Bible study. Every Sunday, you're going to see me waking up at 8 a.m. sharp in my Sunday best, in the front row dancing, saying, yeah, gotta pray the gay away. Because it's crazy. Actually, I'm probably not going to do that. That's evil. That's evil. I shouldn't be homophobic just because someone cheated on me. That's a little evil. That's a little evil. But still, I am going to be pissed. I would start going to church just to bring up a little bit of religious trauma inside of your brain, just to get back good even with you, because you cheated on me. Don't do that. Man, I'm evil. I'm saying this aloud makes me realize how bad I am as a person. Oh, well, anyways, I really don't care. Don't cheat on me. Doing shit like this behind someone's back is not okay. Even if they weren't homophobic, you did the right thing. Okay. All right. Interesting. How strange. I'm generally not a fan of MYOB, but in my case, our daughter not only stepped out of bounds with Ryan, but why would she want her kid around such awful people? Not the a-hole. Interesting. Okay. Not the a-hole. You set a boundary and your daughter violated. Simple as that. And she knows it was wrong for her to do so. Y'all pissing me off. Okay? Y'all pissing me off. I gotta calm down. Y'all pissing me off. Okay. He set a boundary, right? We set a boundary and your daughter violated it. He violated the boundary in the relationship when he cheated. And she knows it was the wrong thing to do, because otherwise she would have told him months ago. If it was okay, she wouldn't have hid it from him. She knew it was wrong and she was facing inevitable obvious consequences. Not the a-hole. Regardless of what the partner he was, he is a dad and people treat him like he should not be around his kids. Disgusting. Good for you for calling it out. I do agree that that's messed up. This is such a little complicated little situation. This is crazy. Everyone sucks here. Yeah, I'm with this one. Everyone sucks here. Ryan for betraying your daughter on a very fun low level. His parents for being bigots. Your daughter for letting known bigots be around her kid, for you interfering and taking Ryan's side over your own daughter. He lied and cheated and made a fool of her. I know he was raised in a religious, intolerant household and couldn't be open about his sexuality, but he was in control of his choices and he made bad ones, and you took his side. Reached out when your daughter was no contact. This is how you end up with on the no contact list. If it happens, will you be just as righteous when Ryan brings the grandbaby to your house behind her back? I like this one. But there's a lot of people saying not the a-hole. I don't agree with a lot of these comments, but I agree with this highlighted one the most, to be quite honest with you. I agree with this a lot. I do think homophobia is wildly rampant. It is still a very, very frowned upon to be gay. It is wildly frowned upon to be gay. And even me having my nails painted, people look at me and say, oh, this is ridiculous. By the way, my nail beds are extending out so crazy. It's not like my nails are bad. My nail beds are just extending out like crazy because I haven't gotten them redone. I need to get them redone. I only took out this nail right here because I fell and it scraped on the concrete. That's about it. But I think that, man, oh my God, this is so stupid. Risky Frobo for singing this in. Thank you so much for singing this in, because now you've got me heated and you got me pissed. Because I hate cheaters with my whole chest. And I do also hate the fact that oh my goodness, the whole family's homophobic. That is bad. That is also bad. But Ryan deserves nothing good in his life for cheating. I think cheating is one of the worst things you can do of all time. I think it's bad. And it's not the virtue of him being gay, it's the fact that he cheated, where I'm really mad at Ryan about. That's just upsetting. I think that's gross. It's just nasty. Bigots are disgustingly bad. I think it's bad to be a bigot. I think it's horrible. But man, cheating sucks. Everyone sucks here, man. It's so accurate. Everyone sucks here. However, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe your love of the LGBTQ community is going to outweigh your cheating allegations and stuff of that variety. Maybe you think everyone cheats. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to figure out. With that being said, I've given my take on the situation. I think that everyone sucks here overall. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How are we all feeling? Did you like, comment, and subscribe yet? Did I entice you with my delicious voice? Did I hit you with these sunglasses? You want to see my eyeballs? Boom, look at those. I'm not tired at all. That's just how my eyes look. I have low collagen around my eyes, and that's a genetic disorder. Boom, bada bing, that's hereditary. And I'm not talking about the movie. Great movie, by the way. Go ahead and check out A24 films. Or is it A23 or A21? A1 steak sauce. I love steak. It's absolutely amazing. You ever consider ribeyes? I prefer filet mignons personally, but they cost the most, I believe. Sometimes you go to a restaurant, you don't know how good the steak is going to be, so you end up taking the smallest option of one you're used to, and it's horrible, and I hate that. Why do they burn steaks on the outside, make the inside so delicious and amazing and bloody? Oh, you hate to see it. Anyways, charred steak is delicious, and I need a flame broiled grill in my backyard so that I could actively learn how to be my dad, and then I can start doing things that my dad did, like abandoning his family for a love of the game. God, I love just the amount of mental trauma that I went through when I was a young person. But since we're talking about mental trauma today and dads, we have an AITA today about Am I the A-hole? Sent in by a fan. Pretty excited about this, and it's for having my dad's funeral the day before my grandmother's. Let's get right into it. So, am I the a-hole for this little fun thing? Firstly, just based off the title, I'm just gonna give my critique of the title. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Also, this wall of text has no, in any way, paragraph points into it. It's just a wall of big text. I hope I don't lose my space in here. It's a little bit disgusting. I hate to see the big wall of text. But I don't think it's bad to have your dad's funeral the day before your grandmother's. I guess it's just sadness after sadness. It's more so kind of like having, let's say you have a brother and you guys both graduate the same day, but you're different years, and he just went back a grade. You guys graduate the same day, and his graduation party is the day after. I guess it would be hard to do that. It's like a back-to-back thing. You might ruin somebody's mental doing that. Not quite sure, but I guess I should read the story to figure out what's going on. So a couple of years ago, my dad passed away. Okay. All right, my grandmother, his mom, had passed away the week prior. Now, her funeral had been set up for over a month at this point, since we all knew she was passing. My dad dying before her was never in the plans, but he went really fast. My brother and my uncle, dad's brother, live across the state and were already planning on coming into town for my grandmother's funeral. I knew if my dad's funeral at any other time, neither of them would be able to afford to come back into town. Oh, you're just being self-conscious. Okay, you're being aware of people's financial state, because this is going to be important. This is important. I think funerals are wildly expensive, right? I think every funeral I've ever been to, the ones that have been catered have been pretty cool. I went to a funeral one time and it was catered by Chick-fil-A. Oh my God, that was amazing. I had a fun time there. I was full. I was giving a speech and I was looking down at everybody. He was a good man, biting into the sandwich, looking at everybody, getting honey mustard on the man's suit. He's gonna have honey mustard in the casket. The worms are gonna enjoy eating that honey mustard in the ground. It's gonna give the worms a little bit of a treat. Anyways, and I put the sandwich in his hand, and they got really mad at me for doing that. It was really fun. You can pretty much do whatever you want to at a funeral as long as you say you're grieving, and it's really cool. Man, I love being high-key disrespectful at funerals. Do not invite me to a funeral at all. I hope that when I have my funeral, I hope that I'm hanging from the rafters and I'm positioned like Spider-Man, like this, and they wax my body out, and then they fill me up. They kind of preserve me taxidermy style and have me positioned like Spider-Man, shooting webs at people, but the webs are actually little cyanide things, and they accidentally eat the cyanide, and they meet me in the afterlife, and we're actually all in Sovereign Guard because we got a battle to the end of the end days, the end of times. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Anyways, they're just being conscious of everything in the background. I appreciate that. I wasn't going to have my brother miss my father's funeral. Talk to him, and I knew money has always been tight for him, so taking off any work isn't easy. And my uncle is on a fixed income, fixes income. And well, I don't want to disrespect your spelling here, but fixes, you mean fix? So coming across the state for him is really hard, man. I low-key love when things are really hard, but I understand why this being really hard wouldn't be that good. Not to mention he has severe MS. I don't know what MS means. Microtransactions? Microsoft. He has severe Microsoft. He has severe Mega Sklumple, Megalodon Sclarmpy, Moogle Slamp, Mesothelioma, Mega Sclamp. I can't think of any S words. Mega Small Penis, MSP, Microsoft, the Moogle Slamp, the Maglish Glibble, the Migoloit. I don't know what MS means. I've heard people say I have MS, but I've never known when MS meant. I can't even surmise a guess as to what abbreviation it could possibly be. But he has severe MS, so getting around is an issue in itself. Maybe his legs are gone. Mega Slump, Migalaw, Marco Slibby. I don't know. I have no idea. Getting around to the issue itself, and I was able to get to the church and priest, I think. Huh? What? The person I think that talked at my papa's funeral 10 years prior to help me put together a service that Friday. He had passed away on Tuesday, and I thought I had done something good. I thought my family would be happy. Glad I took my brother and my uncle into consideration. No. Ooh. They were mad. They thought I was trying to take away my grandmother's moment. Her moment's gone. She's not gonna have a moment ever again. She's out of moments. She's dead. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's it. That's going on. That's insane. I don't know what to tell you there. That seems a little bit goofy. Okay. Every moment she could possibly have is completely null and void because she's dead. I really don't know what to tell you. That this wasn't my dad's time. That her funeral had been planned for a month now, and I'm trying to take the spotlight a day before hers. It's not like a competition for funerals, man. It's not a competition to funerals aren't a competition. It's just you gotta remember the person that was there. They're dead. I don't know what to tell you. They're just dead. What are you gonna do? Oh, well, you think you a big shot? You got a roller coaster at your funeral? Yeah, I got a roller coaster at my funeral. Oh, you think you better than me because you got a roller coaster in your funeral? I don't think I'm better to you because I have a roller coaster at my funeral. I think I just have a roller coaster on my funeral. Well, she has clowns at her funeral. Yeah, but the roller coaster is better. You can go to 2 funerals. I feel like that makes sense. Just going back to funerals. Sorry they both died, but that seems to be goofy. Most refused to even come. Some said they had things for my grandmother's funeral to finalize and couldn't even spare the hour for my dad's service. Okay. I mean, I guess they're making a choice. That's fair. Told me I was being ridiculous and unreasonable, that my dad deserved his own day, and I should have it in a couple weeks. I told them my brother and uncle would miss my dad's funeral if we did that. They didn't care. They just cared it was my grandmother's day. I feel this is really interesting. This is actually interesting because you're obviously trying to be conscious of the living and they're only being concerned about the dead. I think that's really the big thing that's going on here. They're more concerned about the dead. That's disgusting there. She nearly lived to 100. Okay. Smoked a pack of non-filtered cigarettes, drank a half-gallon of vodka a night, and ran around like a chicken with her head off bartending for 50 years at the Eagles bar in town. Okay. Thank you for all that information, dude. Thank you. I don't know why you told me this, but, you know, she seems like a ragtime girl. She seems like such a bent of a person. I like that. I loved her dearly, but she had disowned me 5 years prior after I left my ex. Okay, maybe you are a little bit resentful for her. Maybe you don't care about her funeral a little bit. Thank you for adding this context, actually. Maybe you were like, you know what? Now I'm a little bit on the family side ever so slightly because maybe you were trying to take away from her day. Maybe you just had a little bit of resentment and you were just saying, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Gonna have my dad's funeral same day as her, see what happens. See how she feels about that. She can't feel nothing because her body is all gone. She's in rigor mortis. I don't really care about her. She said I would never find a man like him again. I that I was making a mistake. She didn't know how he tried to slit my throat with his machete. This hodunk ass family. What is happening? There's so much information. Red Rose 50991, your name up there. Holy gee, there's so much information going on right now. I'm sorry. She stopped talking to me in 5 years. The only time she was even acknowledging was when my mom was dying in the hospital and we had to take her off life support. Your grandmother sounds like a piece of garbage, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. She doesn't value your life choices. She doesn't like you. There's so much information here. You obviously didn't like your grandmother that much. I feel like you don't have to honor her. I feel like your family is not that good at people just because they're blood. You know what they say? Blood is thicker than water, or is it blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, or something of that variety? Some nonsense like that. And both those, if you say the half saying blood is thicker than water and blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, those have different, literally opposite meanings from each other. I say go crazy and don't have your family be the main proprietor of how you should operate and live your life. Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm crazy. She didn't even look at me until my dad told her to give me a hug. She didn't even love me. She just doesn't love me anymore. That's why everyone assumed I was doing it on purpose to hurt my grandma somehow. Low key, yeah. Low key, yeah. But to be quite real with you, you know what I mean? Like, you have the right to treat your grandma like a little bit of garbage, I feel. To take attention off of her, because I planned on my dad, because I planned on my dad dying a week after his mother died. I never even thought or considered anyone would be would be anything but relief from my brother and uncle. There is so much they could think that of me. I still can't process it. Most of them didn't come to my dad's funeral. After that, I didn't feel welcome at my grandma's funeral, so I didn't go. I wasn't invited to my aunt's funeral. Your family sucks. I don't know what to tell you. Your whole family is hot trash, got garbage, piss on a shit stick. They are evil people. I don't like them. You should find a better family. You should go out and do more for your life. These are just bad, evil, nasty, filthy, sloppy people, and you just tried your best. I feel like you do have a little bit of resentment, but I don't know you that well. Maybe you just have a little bit of resentment. You don't even acknowledge it, but you have a little bit of a right to have resentment because your grandmother told you to be with the man that tried to take your life, which is disgusting and nasty overall. I feel as though I should read some comments. Let's see what we got going on down here. NTA, in 2015, my uncle died of pancreatic cancer, and my grampy died 6 days later from an accident. My grieving aunt, who lost her husband and father within a week, made it happen so both funerals have been a few days, so people wouldn't have to travel. Yeah, it's just being considerate. It's really just being considerate. That's really all it is. NTA, and if your grandmother was your dad's mother, I wouldn't have had an issue with having a joint funeral. The fact you took your brother and uncle into consideration is admirable. Your family are being the asshole. Okay, yeah. You prioritize logistics and family attendance, but grief and timing still collide in a painful way. I suppose that's what it is. I feel like that's interesting. That's interesting. Now you know who's nasty and who's kind and logical. Maintain a relationship with those who came to your father's funeral and block all nastiness on your phone, email, and social media. A gift to yourself will be therapy. Learn how to wash the criticizing, judgmental, abusive, holier than now family dynamic from your mind. Yeah. It's hard. What I think is, right? What I think is that it's always going to be hard to leave your family and just get rid of the nonsense that they've done to you because they're your family. You grew up with them. You had this attachment to them. But sometimes family's not healthy. Sometimes family is just generally not healthy for you at all, and it's not good to keep around people that are not good for the betterment of your future. And you need the betterment of your future because one day we're all going to be fighting against Godzilla and kaijus, and we're going to need to stop the mecha gigantic war, and gigantic insects are going to destroy the earth. You got to decide who is going to be on your side when you get formed into a gigantic thrall from all the vampires that actually take out the giant insects. Are you going to allow yourself to be eternally grateful to those vampires and choose your found family of being a vampiric aid, or are you going to choose your family and die against those insects because you refuse to be a vampire and choose a different family? You really got to decide those big decisions for yourself because one day that decision is going to happen, and I'll be there during the skeleton war, and I'm going to recognize your skeleton, and I'm going to take out my family first because I'm going to recognize your skeleton because I mapped out their phrenology and I figured out how their calcium calcifies inside of their brains, body, mind, spirit, and soul, and I'm going to be ready for that. I'm going to be the strongest bones ever because every morning I drink vitamin D milk, and that milk's going to go into my body, and it's cow's milk, and sometimes I drink goat's milk too because goats seem to be a little bit more aggressive than cows, so I'm getting that aggressive spirit in my body. That's why I have anger management, and I go to anger classes every single day, and that anger coalesces throughout my entire body, and one day I'm going to turn into the Incredible Hulk, and then I'm going to get to be able to fight an Avengers level threat, and then Thanos is going to throat check me, and as I get throat checked by Thanos, I'm going to be at his knees, then I'm going to see how big and phallic Thanos is, and then I'm going to be a slave to Thanos, and then I'm going to be mad because I'm a slave, and I'm just recreating black trauma, and then people are going to look at me and say, you shouldn't be a slave to no man, black man, and then Malcolm X is going to become Malcolm Y, and then Malcolm Z are going to form into a Megazord, and they're going to take out my life. Yeah, you're not the asshole. What was I talking about? Right, what's your opinion on this? Tell me down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
Hello, little rubber duckies of the internet. How are we doing this fine, illustrious, and beautiful day? Did you cross something off your bucket list? Did you make sure you woke up and didn't drink coffee, but actually had a productive meal so you can have enough energy to get through your tantalizing shift at your very monotonous job? Did you do that? Am I background noise for your commute? Please let me know. I'm always curious where people are watching from. Please don't forget to comment below and tell me exactly where you're watching from. And while you're doing that, maybe like, and if you don't like me, you don't gotta subscribe, but I'd appreciate it. Anyways, today we're doing some Am I the A-hole? Now, I've been doing these videos quite some time, basically doing one a day because all the stories are so interesting to me. I've been having a fun time reading through and sifting through, pinning it to the dish, and tearing each sentence apart as if I'm a scientist trying to figure out the exact nomenclature of what these people go through. It is so fun to do. So, today, I got a fan request from somebody to read this story because they saw it blowing up on Reddit. So we're gonna read this story together as a family. Am I the a-hole for kicking everyone out after my sister lied and said my apartment was hers? Pretty interesting, pretty strange, pretty odd overreaction, I feel. People lie all the time, but maybe you have a bit more pride and egotistical about you, and I gotta appreciate that. And pride is the main contributor to being a YouTuber. So you got a career in show business so far, you might be like Prince. I, 23F, live alone in a decently nice apartment. Okay, hold on, go off, girl. My bad, didn't realize you were amazing. And I'm proud of it. You should be. It's pretty good. My sister, AmITheA. Ooh, hold on. Put it in quotation marks. Maybe she's saying that's not her actual name, or she's saying that Amelia. Ooh, she might be hitting her with that. 20F. Lives at home. We've always been very close, so I gave her a key for convenience and emergencies. Okay, so she's using her older sister as a bit of a way to say that, hey, this is all me. I made this crib. You know what I'm saying? I'm making my own money. I don't be doing nothing crazy. That's what I'll be doing. Since I moved out about 10 months ago, AmITheA has been coming over a lot. At first, it was nice, but now it's almost daily. I work long hours and value my space and privacy. So hear me out. You shouldn't have given her a key. I just want to point that out. You probably should not have given her a key to your personal space if you didn't want her constantly in your area. She probably misses her sister, all that jazz, but you shouldn't have given somebody a key if you weren't ready for them coming over all the time. You can't just assume somebody is going to value your personal space, because when you give somebody the infinite access to your life and the ability to see every single facet of it, they will use that as a way to have infinite access to your life. You can't really control how people use that access in totality. It's a very horrifying thing to do. So there's that. So this has been a little frustrating for a while, but I try to be understanding because I know she really wants to move out too. Okay, well, that's very understanding and nice, and I'm glad with you. But you should also list these grievances with her as a aside so it doesn't blow up into something bigger. That would be horrifying if it blew up to something bigger, because you're instantly becoming resentful towards this person for wanting to be around essentially somebody who they thought they could have free access to. So there's that. Over the past 2-3 months, AmITheA has been obsessed with my apartment and its aesthetic. Ooh, she just likes your design. She understands that you got that flow, you got that rhythm. She just wants to understand how you're an interior designer without going to school for being an interior designer. She constantly comments on how she would decorate differently or suggest that we should move furniture around. I usually brush it off as jokes. Okay, all right. Ooh, now it's getting worse. Okay, hold up a second. Ooh, now she's trying to take control of your life. Now we've gotten to the meat and potatoes. I thought we were just getting an appetizer in this entire meal. That's a little bit strange. Actually, I'd like to tell you something really cool. I had my own apartment for quite some time, but before that, I had an apartment, a one-bedroom with somebody else. They stayed in the living room, and I stayed in the one-bedroom because they said, oh, man, don't worry. I just need to use the bathroom. The bathroom is out here, so you ain't got to worry about nothing. So the bathroom was outside of my bedroom, and then we could just, interact haphazardly throughout the entire day. So he would never clean the living room. Because he lived in the living room, all the food would be out there, all the messes would be out there. At one point, we got gnats inside of the dishes because he didn't wash his dish one time, and he said, don't touch his dishes because they're special dishes that he specifically got. So naturally, I'm going to respect my boy's wishes. I'm a genie. I got to make sure I give him 3, but sadly, I couldn't even give him 1 because the first wish I respected, we ended up getting a bunch of flies inside the house. So that disgusted me deeply. So I said, okay, how can I get this man to do something? But I noticed every single time he cleaned was when he had some hole coming over. He specifically phrased it as when he had hole coming over, because it would be boys, girls, it'd be anything, it'd be non-binary people, it'd be whatever it is, it'd be any which way have you, didn't matter what it was. So I made a fake Tinder account, and I proceeded to, every time I needed the house clean, to flirt with him on Tinder by making a bunch of different accounts. This was amazing. I was using text now numbers, and I was using a bunch of different Google phone numbers to make a bunch of Tinder accounts so I could figure it out. At a certain point, I wasn't able to actively make these accounts. I got banned on Tinder. I don't know if it was my IP that got banned, but I couldn't make that account anymore, so I just couldn't do it. So what I ended up doing, I ended up hitting up a bunch of people on WhatsApp to give me a bunch of SIM cards for phones. So I ended up having a bunch of SIM cards that were just destroyed and downtrodden, and I used old phones to make a bunch of Tinder profiles by switching out the SIM cards every time. It was this long, monotonous string of trying to figure out how to get this man to clean the house. It was disgusting. And then one day he said, hey man, I've been failing a lot recently with getting these girls. I said, that's a little strange. One day he went through my room without asking, and he figured out that I was actually using a bunch of phones to make fake Tinder profiles in order to get him to clean the house. He said, man, That's pretty funny. And we dapped each other up and we played UFC 2 the entire night. Now, that was fun. I think of that a lot. Don't know why I wanted to tell you that story as an aside, but man, that was really fun. What a goofy goober, and I'm not talking about SpongeBob. Anyways, back to the Reddit story. It didn't really get weird until I started coming to her apartment after letting myself in while I wasn't home. Okay, alright. A few times I had noticed she rearranged little things. It bugged me, but I didn't outwardly confront her because it wasn't worth a fight with her. Okay, so she's trying to invade the personal space. She's an invasive species, like a cat or a human, or I guess that's really the only invasive species that I know. Iguanas in Florida are an invasive species, I believe. I believe some people cook up the lizards, the iguanas out in Florida and eat them up. That's a real phenomenon. They hang on trees and they cook up the iguanas because iguanas are an invasive species. I'm not sure what technically they're doing out in Florida. I'm not quite sure, but she's basically an invasive species. She's a cat trying to give you some cat babies, and that's a little bit messy. Maybe she wants cats. Maybe she's actually trying to put cats inside of your house. Maybe Cats Don't Dance, which is a great movie on YouTube right now. It's actually on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's free, but I have a YouTube family plan, and one of my members of the family bought Cats Don't Dance. It's a really underrated movie, not very long, at least about an hour 20 minutes, but the songs in there are really heartfelt and amazing. It's actually an allegory for racism. It's a really good movie, and I think it's outstanding. It's a bunch of animals that don't have the ability to get jobs in Hollywood. It's a really good film, but they are actually trying to become this cat, and that's not good. About 2 weeks ago, right here, about 2 weeks ago, back to the story, we're back in, lock in, guys. AmITheA and I were at a mutual friend's party, and I overheard her talking to someone about her new apartment. Oh, hold on. Now we're getting some lore. Your new apartment, okay. And I walked up to her friend and said something like, "It looks nice from the pictures." Hold on. No, it looks beautiful. This photography. This is a Kodak moment. I've never seen something this amazing. This is you. This is all me. This is all you. I wouldn't have seen the angle, the follicles on the foreskin, the longitude and latitude. This is outstanding. And then she says she made a nuclear bomb in the basement. And then she says she's gonna attack the president. Anyways, which made me think she was showing people my place and telling me it's hers. That's a little bit interesting. A few days later, I came home early from work, and she was on my couch with a girl I've never met. Now, when I hear this sentence, my first trigger went off. Oh my goodness, your sister's a lesbian. It's over. See, now she's been cadoodling at the household. She's been going crazy. She's been eating box on the couch while you haven't been home. Who knows? Maybe she's getting both. Maybe she's hosting parties with a bunch of other people there, and then you don't even know. You come home and everything's all the way it left it. It's a Phineas and Ferb situation. No matter how crazy the event is, when you don't see it, it doesn't happen. That's the whole thing. AmITheA looked obviously shocked and left quickly to go shopping. Hold on. Go shopping. Okay, it happened again a few days later with 2 cousins instead, but she didn't seem to care that I came home this time. I texted her later and asked her to ask me before inviting anyone to my apartment, and all she said was, K, the entitlement, the single letter. Oh my goodness, that's a special K, and that's nowhere near the cereal. This is bad. Oh, this is bad. Add 2 more of those, and we might get the race of the people in this entire situation. This is whole bad. This is disgusting. Man, that's evil. After that, I assumed all was well. All was well. And she was over a lot, but she was acting oddly nice. Oh, the anticipation of oddly nice. I found this weird and was immediately suspicious, but from what I could tell, she wasn't doing anything strange. Boy, was I wrong. I don't know who this person is, but they should get into writing stories more often, because this is very, very interesting. The way they're framing the things and all this stuff, it's really funny. I just like the way they're using language and grammar. Last night, I came home from a 12-hour shift. Where do you work at? What demonic job? Is this Amazon? Do you work in a factory? Are you just working at an office? Are you an evictioner? Are you a realtor? Working a 12-hour shift and then having this is crazy. And she was there again, but this time with 5 friends playing a drinking game in my living room. I was exhausted and livid. 20-year-old sister drinking in your apartment? Obviously, you should be pissed. You should actively be asking more questions and getting answers to all these inquiries that you have going on inside your house. This whole thing is just bonkers. A little bit goofy. Not really sure what's going on here. I told them all to leave. Amelia tried to talk to me in the kitchen, but I wasn't having it. I told them again to leave, and one of her friends asked why I was there in my apartment. And I lost it. I yelled because I live here. Amelia lives here with our parents. Now get the F out. Ooh. Ooh, hold on a second. Oh, look, feisty. Angry. We love to see it. That's beautiful. Oh my goodness, get out of here. They left quickly, but my family is now saying that I embarrassed her in front of her friends, and Amelia is humiliated. I honestly don't think I did anything wrong. My family is saying that my sister is devastated. I'm not even sure what to do from here. I tend to overreact sometimes, but this was wild and very out of character for my sister. Am I the a-hole? You got your own crib. You got your own car. You got your own job. You got your own bills you pay. You have the grace and nobility and the humility to allow somebody else, that albeit is family, into your house. And they are using that as a method, as a pathos. Pathos means fear, by the way. I know what it means. Just want to point that out. As a path to you to have access within your household. I don't think you are the a-hole in this situation. They're obviously trying to use too much access to your space, because when you give someone this, they're going to take a mile, obviously, and they're trying to get actively every aspect of your life. They're trying to offer redecorating. They're actively trying to lightly move in. They're softly moving in to the point. It's kind of like, you ever have a partner and you guys don't live together, but they're always over every day, all this stuff, and she doesn't pay any bills or nothing like that, or he doesn't pay any bills. He put his PS5 in her bedroom, or she put her makeup kit inside of your bathroom, or something of that variety. Very gendered terms I'm using there, but maybe she brought her PS5 over. Or realistically, I don't think I've dated a girl that had a PS5. I've dated a few girls that had Switches. I've dated a few girls who were Switches too. Nintendo. Shout out Mario, man. What a great man. This person is definitely not the a-hole. I think the sister is overstepping a lot of boundaries, but a lot of boundaries weren't set in stone. So she's just testing the waters of where she can and cannot go. And I also think the little sister is insane with this, trying to move in all her friends and have all these parties and do all this stuff. It's very disrespectful, and it probably shows how Amelia operates within her parents' household. What's crazy is that the original poster probably isn't getting her word out in totality. She's probably not getting her word out to her family, and Amelia has the chance to shape the entire narrative of the whole situation. So it makes the original poster, makes them see bad, makes them seem really, really bad in this situation, saying she just came home one day and she just blew up me for no reason. I'm really confused and I feel so embarrassed in front of all my friends, and they just did that. But you're basically claiming that the space that you have access to is yours. That's not true. You're not paying any bills, you're not doing anything, and that's a level of immaturity that I guess that comes from early 20s, where you just think that you have access and freedom to do a lot of stuff, and you just don't really think about the consequences of breaking people's boundaries. And that's just so common with younger people. That's fair. The older sibling is significantly more mature when it comes to that stuff. Maybe it's that 3-year age gap that creates all that difference. Maybe they just learn differently, or maybe the independence of having their own apartment has taught them that they value personal space. Because this is important. When you get your own apartment, you're gonna think at the first start, you're gonna want all these people over, you're gonna have all this fun and all these friends to just enjoy your space, and you're gonna think it's gonna be amazing. After a while, you're gonna have to learn that you don't want all these people in your personal space. You don't want all these people in your house. You don't want to deal with everybody and their cousin and their auntie and their brother and their sister. And you just want to value your personal space, especially after a hard shift. And that's what makes it so hard to hang out as an adult, because you get tired from working all these disgusting shifts, and you have all this evil inside your body from being mad at your manager, being mad at the customers, being mad at people in general. So you just want to take a moment to relax and maybe even doom scrolling your phone. But if you have somebody immediately there back at your house, you don't know when you have personal space for. And that's what causes a lot of people to either stay in their car or do something different or want to get their hobbies out, because they don't have the freedom of what they actually want. And that's why the job bogs them down. That's why you see people crash out at work, because of all the stuff going on. That tackled on top with the economy being in shambles and everything costing a lot more. The gas is $4.30 as of the recording of this video. Everything's bad. Well, in Michigan, it hit $5. I'm in Michigan, so it hit $5. And that's really bad. Things are getting horrifying in the real world. And that added the compounded stress of all the evils that are going on in the world, whether it be the war with Iran, whether it be nonsense that's happening there, whether it be issues in her personal life, all this going on and compounding. And then you have your little sister going crazy, throwing all these parties, thinking that there's bigger issues in the world that she doesn't really care about. She's younger, so she's not caring about that. This girl's 20, so she was probably about 2005, 2006. She has no clue about the greater minutia of the evils inside the world. She has no clue about deficits or the issues of tax brackets. She doesn't even know what an I-9 is. She has no idea. And I'm talking about the computer chip, by the way, not i5. I'm talking about i9. That's what I'm talking about. She probably doesn't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and read some comments now. I'm sure AmITheA is humiliated. Being caught in a lie is humiliating, but she did that to herself, not the a-hole. Yeah, she also got a cover for disciplining and violating OP's boundaries many times. She's been given plenty of chances but chose to ignore him. That's on her. OP just made sure she doesn't have any access to your apartment anymore. Change the locks. True. AmITheA is devastated? Good. Maybe it will teach her that basing her social standing on lies never ends well. Not the a-hole. Love to see it. Everyone's pretty much as unanimously agreeing, so I've chosen the opinion of everybody in the crowd. Thus, I have entered mob mentality. I am basically the peanut gallery, regurgitating all the Reddit comments. You hate to see it. Oh my goodness. No significantly nuanced takes on this very obvious issue. You hate to see it. Maybe you, dear viewer, have a take that I haven't heard before. Maybe you have something that I don't know, and I'd love to hear it. Go ahead and comment down the comment section down below and tell me your thoughts on the entire situation. I'd love to hear them. With that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see comments. If you wish to see content similar to this. I've been me, you've been you, and God is watching me, waiting to strike me down with lightning the instant I step outside the house and turn me into a curmudgeon of a human being and annihilate me and make me become a pair of shoes on the pavement, and nobody will care about my life because the people that are closest in my life have actively abandoned me because of the nonsense that I have initiated myself in everyday shenanigans. I've become Phineas and Ferb without the fun aspects, just the after effects of somebody getting caught within the nonsense they've done and ruining every aspect of my life. Anyways, that's a topic for another video. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at, and I'm out. Peace. Bye. Good evening. Salutations. How are y'all doing this fine, lustrous day? I hope you hit your jumping jacks today. I sent that homework for you to do your jumping jacks, and I hope you finished it. And if you forgot about it, you obviously weren't paying attention in last class. And if you weren't paying attention in last class, then I'm very disappointed in you. And I'm going to have to mark off 5,000 points, and you're going to fail your entire semester, thus putting the student loans, putting you in a deficit and a debt that could possibly destroy your life, and you're never going to get a real job. So you're going to have to join the army, and I'm going to actually sacrifice your body, and it's going to be horrifying. You're going to actually work for the government for the rest of your life, and then you're going to become a homeless veteran and lose your legs, then get dishonorably discharged because you weren't actually built for the army. I'm going to ruin your life with one single thing. Anyways, that's how college works. How's your day going? Good, great, fantastic. I'm happy for you. I am here to read something to you, and it's a Reddit story. Oh, I know how much you love your Reddit stories. It is the Am I the A-hole? But what for specifically? Well, before we get into that entire story, let's talk about you not liking, commenting, or subscribing. Come on now. I know you want to. Look me in the eyes, man. I'm begging you, please. I need this, B. I need this. Enough begging. Let's get into the story. Am I the a-hole for wasting food after my mom tricked me into eating something she knows makes me vomit? Are you 10? I'm just hear me out, man. Are you 10 years old? I don't know if this is a picky eater thing or they actually have something insane. I'm not sure what's going on. This is obviously not an adult because they're living with their parents. I just imagine that's what's going on there. I don't know. Either that or maybe visiting. I gotta read this. I'm not gonna read the edit first. I see an edit there. Anyways. Last night, I had dinner with my parents, and my mom shoveled some strange-looking stir-fried veggies into my plate. Oh, vegetables, greens, nasty. Now, some context. I'm a very picky eater. I figured I would only guess. That is the initial assumption I had. Thank you for specifying. I'm not unhealthy by any means, though I used to be mildly anemic when I was younger. I'm generally wary of anything I don't recognize, mostly because I physically can't eat stuff I'm not okay with. I throw immediately, and yes, we'll try to get past this, but it seems to be a mental block. Brother, and I say this with my whole chest, mind, body, spirit, and soul, you might need therapy, or you might need to get past this. I recall when I was younger, man, I would never eat pickles, and to this day, I don't eat pickles. I haven't grown. This isn't really me critiquing you. I'm a hypocrite. Anyways, I do think that you should eat something that's better for you, perhaps. I don't know, even acknowledge that it is a mental block. I don't know what that's going on about that. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, naturally, I asked her what the dish was, and she replied with a, just try it first. My mother has a short temper, and she was just recovering from a fever. Okay. I decided not to test her patience and took a very small bite of that, then resumed asking her what it was. First, she evaded the question. Then, in a playful way, she commented that it wasn't so bad, was it? Ooh, hold on. Ooh, hold on. Ooh, trying to get you with the swivel, with the nonsense. That's stupid. I pressed. She answered, it was pineapple, not something I eat. I didn't make a scene and decided just to be silent and let it all pass. She kept needling me. Needling? She kept needling me about it. I I don't think I've ever seen this phrase used, needling. Poking at it? I've never seen that word used. That's on me. I gotta research that later. Sorry, that's on me. Sorry about that. I can't read. About something I so Gen Z of me. Gen Z can't read. That's your fault, by the way. I ate it perfectly, fine. And when I didn't know what it was, duh. The entire problem is me being able to consume stuff I'm not okay with. All right, I'm gonna think about this for a second. It is a complete mental barrier upon yourself when you cannot eat food that you obviously don't know about and things of that variety. I grasp that. I'm here with you. I'm following along. And I don't think you're an a-hole for having a preference for food. I think that's fair. I'm just confused here. So, and this is, I may be ignorant to this. Somebody can possibly educate me in the comments about this, because I would love to know. So you have a mental block that stops you from eating food when you know exactly what it is. But if somebody tricks you into eating the food, you don't throw it up. And that's what I'm grasping so far. I'm not sure that that's a phenomenon. And there's a lot of mental things going on with a lot of people that I possibly couldn't know about. Everybody's specific in their cases. I grasp that. I don't want to seem ignorant to this, but that just seems goofy, right? Am I stupid? It just seems a little goofy. And this is a very specific person. It doesn't apply to everybody, but it seems a little goofy. It just seems strange. It isn't as if it was the case as I'm feeding you a vegan burger, or more so, you're a vegan and I'm feeding you a meat burger and I tell you that it's fake meat, and then you say, okay, it's actually a pretty good burger. See, vegans love eating that. That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. That would actually be disrespecting your boundaries in all the capacities. This may be different. Maybe, I don't know. I gotta read more of this. Maybe I'm stupid. And that's fine. If I'm stupid, I will take it. I will take it on the chin. I just need to know the rest of what's going on. I want to read more before I come to a final conclusion. Let's do that. 5 minutes later, she lashed out completely, called me arrogant for refusing food. I did not ask my father, who was silent and watching the whole fiasco, to take them so they won't be wasted. Selfish and ungrateful. It was accompanied by a plethora of other names I'd rather not list. Okay. Your mom's crazy. I just want to point that out. If this happened, your mom just went actually insane. Just nonsensical. That is insane. That's nuts. Once they finished their dinner, my parents rose, and my mother forbade me from getting up from the table without finishing what was on my plate. That's abusive. I don't know what to tell you. That's abusive. Don't force anybody to eat something. Don't force food. You're going to have an unhealthy relationship with food if you force somebody to eat something they don't want to. If a child can't finish all the food on their plate and they actually are telling you, I can't finish the food, don't force the child to finish the food. They're going to have an unhealthy relationship with food, and that's going to cause a lot of mental barriers and traumas. Oh my God, that's probably what's going on here. I don't know why I didn't realize that earlier. Man, I just came to the clue. That's crazy. Talking it out really does help sometimes. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, no, this is bad. That's disgusting. You shouldn't do that. Close to 1 hour and 30 minutes later, I was still seated at the dining table, unable to leave and subject to her furious words. To be mad an hour 30, thinking you have this much ownership of a person, is crazy. And then finally, my father intervened, telling my mother to drop it in a very sensitive way, mind you, at which she laughed out at him too for taking my side. I have always been closer with my father than my mother. He silently went away after that. Oh my God, what a baby. That's horrifying. I guess she's just the matriarch of the family, controlling what everybody does. That's just evil. I decided to talk to her about it. Since she calmed down a little, she refused to hear my side and told me to go dump the rest of the way. Then she proceeded to guilt trip me and comment how it's all her fault for cooking for me. It is her fault. I guess it's her fault. I thought we made up last night before bed, as I had made some small talk with her. But today morning, a very, very interesting phrasing here. Today morning, all right. She's still mostly cold and ignoring anything I say in private to her. She answers when we're with my father and discussing stuff. I realize this comes across as callous for many, but my inability is really not a stubborn childness I kept up. She knows that. Am I the a-hole? And then Thank you for everyone who replied outside to talk to him about it and look into ARFID therapy. What is that? Oh, it's a restrictive food intake disorder. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I understand. I got it. I picked up what it put down. I understand now. Lost interest in eating. Okay, I got it. I want to read the comments here. Wait, she actually made you sit there for an hour and a half? That's literally the same behavior for a parent to have toward their grown child. It is super gross to try to trick you and then get mad when her little experiment didn't magically cure your eating habits. Being a picky eater is one thing, but having physical reaction like vomiting means it's not just you being stubborn. She needs to get a grip and stop taking your diet so personally. Yeah, this is so real. That's such a real statement. That's valid. That's completely valid. I think I've got enough of this information to understand that the mom is the a-hole and controlling and a little bit manipulative to try to force their child to eat something in that variety. OP, if you ever see this, you are not the a-hole, and I completely understand that you may have something going on where you're avoiding food, and that's a very important thing to actually get therapy for and look into. I think that's a very important thing. I do not believe you are wrong for not wanting to eat a specific food because it may be tied to something that you may not enjoy. It may have happened when you were earlier. You may not have given me all the details. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think that you are the a-hole for not finishing your food. Oftentimes when I was younger, I would often hear my mother continually say, there are kids starving in Africa. I want to point this out. I was born in Africa. I know there's kids starving in Africa. I was starving in Africa back in the day, and I'm not going to magically give them the food. Am I going to teleport the food that I'm not eating to them? That's insane. I can't do that. That's not going to happen. So I think it is a little bit ridiculous to think that the person should actively attribute and do these things for it. It just seems goofy. It just seems goofy to impose your will and reality upon somebody when they obviously don't feel comfortable doing that. It just seems odd. In any case, let me know what you guys think about this situation down in the comment section down below. I'm vouching that the person in the OP is not an a-hole, that the parent is a little bit controlling and manipulative to do so. And if you went through this as a child, your parent, that's abuse, by the way. That's mental abuse in some capacity. Not physical, but it's mental, which triggers the same areas of your brain. It could have caused trauma and make you have an interesting relationship with food. So, yeah. Have we thought about the mother's side for it? Hold up a second. I'm going to play devil's advocate for like 2 seconds. Mom slaving away. Maybe she really wants to be a mother. Maybe the only thing that she really enjoys is cooking. And now the person that she created is telling her that her food is not worthy enough to be eaten and she's not enjoying it. But that could also be an angle too. I don't know. I want to look at her from her side for a second, but I don't know. She seems to be like a prick. She just seems to be a prick. Anyway, enough speculation. Let's get on with you guys commenting, telling me how you feel. And I'm out. Peace. Bye.
Good morning, good evening, and salutations. Today we're looking at some more Am I the A-hole? And I'm really excited about this one because a fan sent in to me and said, I really agree with the girl in this situation. Now, I didn't read the situation yet. I'm very new to this, so I'm very excited to see what they agree with. But before we get into the video, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Just tell me how you're feeling this fine, illustrious day, and tell me if you've eaten breakfast, you've had lunch, and maybe you've had dinner. That's 3 meals. I don't even think you need 3 meals during the day. I haven't eaten 3 meals in about 2 years now. I basically just get 2 meals, and that's pretty much how I operate. Get breakfast, a few light snacks, and then a big meal at the end of the day. Don't really know why people want to have so many meals during the day. My body can't handle it. Anyways, let's get into the story. Am I the a-hole for wanting more attention from my boyfriend who's dealing with career stress? My initial assumption immediately is to say yes, you are a psychopath. Well, that's a little bit direct language, too much language there. That seems a little bit defamatory, a little bit angering, and obviously we can't just toss around terms willy-nilly. Words have meaning. You are a bit of an a-hole for that. That's just my first initial thing upon reading the title, but this is beyond the headline generation, and I'm trying to teach people to read the bulk of the text. So let's get into it. I, 21F, and my boyfriend, 21M, exact same age. What if we got the exact same birthday? That's a little interesting. Have been together for about 2.5 years. That's so mathematically correct. I like that. Recently, we became long distance about a month ago. In the beginning, he was very attentive, but lately, he feels distant. He's cheating. He's cheating. I'm gonna say that right now. Just go ahead and leave him. Dump him right now. I know this is hard to deal with this. Go ahead. I'm putting horrible thoughts inside of your mind because I want this relationship to end. Long distance is horrible. All long distance relationships are bad. Just choose someone closer. I don't care about any retaliation I'm going to get for that. I've been cheated on every long distance relationship I've had. I am taking out my stress on this person immediately, and I'm using that as a conduit, and you are the catalyst for my stress. Welcome to the real world. He's going through a really stressful time. He lost a job offer due to office politics. I don't know what that means. Having received another offer letter yet,
hasn't received another offer yet. His startup isn't going as planned, and he's dealing with cyber attacks. I understand that he's overwhelmed. Oh my God, who is your boy? What is going on with your boyfriend's life? I'm sorry. Who is this guy? What are you dating? Sam Bankman-Fried? Who is this person? He hasn't received an offer letter. His startup isn't going as planned, and he's dealing with cyber attacks. He went too hard on his dream, maybe. Why did he move away? I got a lot of questions for you as a person. What happened? Why are you long distance? Who decided this? Why is it? I don't know what's going on. At the same time, I'm feeling like my needs don't matter anymore. He thinks my life is sorted because I'm preparing for my CAT exam, but I still need emotional support. Okay, man. Maybe he can't deal with this. Maybe he's stressed about the entirety of the situation. He might be stressed about what's going on. I feel as though you got to really understand that he's also going through wild stress. Cyber attacks? I'm sorry. I feel like he's going through a lot more than what you're going through. I understand you need some emotional support. Maybe you can contact him, some of that variety. But this just seems like a lot. I try to be there for him, but I feel like I'm the only one putting in that effort. I don't expect big gestures, just small things like checking in or asking how I'm feeling. For example, I told him it was my first day of my period, and the next day he didn't even ask how I was doing. This is gonna sound so mean, and I mean it to sound as hateful as possible. I promise you I do. I need you to get it twisted. OP, Quick Green 1033, that's the name of the OP thing. I need you to get this twisted. You are insufferable. Oh my God. What an insufferable human you are. Jesus Louise. Oh my goodness. I don't hate you, but I do hate your mindset, and it is gonna sound bitter of me to say that. He is going through a lot. Like a lot. Like he's startups failing, he moved long distance, he isn't close to his girl. I understand that he needs to check up on, but he might be going through stress. You want him to like suck it in and suck it up and do that. I feel as though talking to him about this is important, but you've been with him for 2.5 years. Has this never come up at all? Has this never been a thing? Has this never been a situation where this has happened before, where he's been this stressed out? Or is this all new information to you? This is just, toss under the bridge, new information. Is this new to you? This can't possibly be new information to you. This has to have come up at least once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The count from Sesame Street got canceled. He got annihilated. He's actually going to fight Edward Cullen. It's going to be ridiculous and nasty. It's going to be disrespectful, and Elmo's going to come out from the top rope and take you out, and Big Bird's going to hit you with a steel chair. Oh my goodness, it's going to be disrespectful to everybody around the system. It's going to destroy everybody, and Oscar the Grouch is finally going to come out of the trash can. But you're going to live there because you are trash towards him. You are trash towards this person. You should break up. I think. I don't think you're gonna break up. I think you should break up, man. I don't think this is great. Or he has another girl. Ooh, he's cheating on you. Secret mistress on the side. And he's giving you less attention. He's lying to you about the startup and the cyber attacks. He's doing it to himself. And he's actually not even doing a startup at all. He just moved in with his girl. And now you actually have to deal with that because you've been together for so long. He's gotten bored. And now he's actually looking for something more exciting in his life. And you got to deal with that. Ooh, that would suck. And I take back everything I said if that's the case. But let's keep reading this story. Because of this, I sometimes get irritated and say hurtful things or taunts. All right, man. Come on now. This okay. All right. You suck. Delete him. Why are you being mean? Even bring up his past. Why are you? Yes, you're the a-hole. Yeah, you're mean. You're just ridiculously mean. I know this is wrong, and he has shouted at me saying it feels disrespectful, and I'm the one who is understanding him. I am trying to control it, but when I feel ignored, it just comes out. You need anger management classes. You need to deal with yourself. Everything about this situation is horrible. He's retaliating to you being mean towards him, so that's what's going on. He is stressed from all the horrible things. He hasn't been able to get his company off the ground. His startup sucks. All this stuff is bad. He's trying to figure out his way in the world, and you're not actively supporting him in any capacity. And I agree, you're getting emotionally neglected in some capacities, but calling him hurtful things or taunts is not going to work. Doing that is just messed up. You guys have a very toxic relationship just from this little thing. Thank you for being honest. That's disgusting. I also feel more emotional around my period, and I don't think he understands that. You agitate the hell out of me. Seeing other couples online where boyfriends are more attentive has made me feel worse. This is so sad. I am so saddened by the online diaspora. Every single snippet of the online world is cut out in little segments. You never see the smaller minutia parts of the overall relationship. You relying on the online metrics and the online algorithm polls of deep manipulation to have a a framework, a syllabus of how your relationship should go is not healthy. You're actively destroying how you think a relationship could possibly be. That's not good for you. That's going to mess up your medulla oblongata. That's going to mess up your brain. You're going to actually think that's how a relationship is supposed to go. You're going to ruin your life. That's not healthy, dude. That's not healthy at all. This is not good. I don't like this. I don't know. It's horrible. Lately, I feel very alone in this relationship. You low-key deserve it, dude. It's horrible to say, but you're yelling at him. You're being mean, saying hurtful things, bringing up his past. He's retaliating towards it. You both are a little toxic in your own ways, and it's disgusting. And you just getting online. The online stuff is definitely not helping. You're just caught in the manipulation machine and propaganda online things. Like I'm single, but not actively single. I feel like you cheat. I don't know. I feel like you cheat. Sometimes I even feel like I'm forcing myself to say I love you. I'm starting to feel disconnected, and I've even thought about breaking up, but I'm scared it will seem like it came out of nowhere when it's actually building up. Am I the a-hole for reacting this way and expecting more emotional attention even though he's going through a tough time? I think the biggest factor in this is the fact that you became long distance about a month ago and you're not used to him being long distance, so he's not being there physically. So now you are realizing that distance is a big factor in long distance relationships, and it takes more than wishful thinking in order to get things done. So you actively are dealing with the stress of dealing with a long distance relationship. So you're having a horrible time figuring that out. So it's not healthy to have that. That's just not good. I want to read through some comments here. There are two issues here. The first is that you're feeling neglected and you need a conversation with him. If he doesn't feel like he can provide emotional support during his time in his life, then the two of you decide if you can move forward in a relationship. The second is being on your period is not an excuse of being an a-hole. Thank you. Women get more emotional during PMS, and there's a condition which is extreme, but it's your responsibility to go see a doctor to get checked out and manage it. Everyone sucks here. I'm gonna say you're the a-hole. I think slightly the boyfriend, but I think like you suck. I'm gonna have to go with a soft. You're the a-hole. It sounds like all other aspects. It sounds like in all other aspects of your relationship, aside from this one stressful time in his life, he has been the person you want. Now he needs the support from you, and it sounds like it's all about you. Talk to him. Talk to him. I can understand why you feel like the way you do, but to treat him the way you're treating him out of spite or whatever you do is messed up. It's not wrong to want attention you're used to. It is wrong for you to treat him the way you have been when he seems to have a legitimate reason to have shifted his focus. Yeah, like genuinely he's going through a lot. Like everybody agrees that they're the asshole. This is crazy, a really crazy situation. Just break up with him. Am I crazy? Am I crazy to say that? Just break up with a person. You don't have to be with a person if they're going through a lot of stuff like this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be with the person like if you can't handle long distance, even if you've been together for 2.5 years, you don't have to be together. That's fair. I think that's fair and real. I think that's just a very real thing to do. You don't have to do this to yourself or even stress him out. You seem to not be able to deal with somebody not being close to you or needing time and space in themselves. You seem like you need codependency in some capacity. So get somebody that can be codependent with you. I know you don't want to do the sunk cost fallacy of you wasted so much time with this relationship and now you're trying to figure out how to deal with the relationship because you think it's more strong to stay, but it's also strength to leave. It's strength to do both things. You can just leave the relationship. However, I am one simple, lonely man on the internet. I'm married, by the way. My wife is on the left of me. How do you feel about this situation? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe with all notifications turned on, and have a lovely day. Please eat dinner. I hope it's fantastic. I'm out. Peace. Bye. Hello, my troops of the modern nation. We are here to fight Godzilla. I need you guys to make sure we take out his left pinky toe, his right pinky toe, so he loses his balance. Did you know toes are actually for your balance? I had no clue about that. And your inner ear, that's also for balance. A lot of things are really for balance inside your body. Didn't realize that very tiny things, very tiny adjustments and changes in your life could possibly destroy you. Didn't really understand how strong the thumb was until I couldn't use my thumb for about a day. I couldn't grip anything. You can't even form a fist properly because the fist and overall indefinitely closes in and the thumb kind of locks in the fist. I didn't realize you needed the thumb to do that. You can't just four-finger a fist. That's really bad. Man, I really didn't realize how small the human body is deciding itself. And we're not even built that good. What's the point of the appendix? I feel like one day we're going to discover the purpose of the appendix and feel really stupid because it must do something. Something must be important about the appendix. Maybe it allows us to tap into a sixth sense. Maybe it processes a new kind of food that we don't know. Maybe it affects foreign entities that enter our body. Maybe it makes TI cells. TI cells are the cells that exist inside your body that work for the immune system. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think it does that because I'm pretty sure there's a specific thing for TI cells. Don't really know what's going on there. Value your immune system. Some people have autoimmune diseases and they can't do that. So if you do have a good immune system, please give it up to me. I need it, and we need it to fight Godzilla. I beg of you. Anyways, now that we're all suited up and ready to battle and strike at the moment's notice, at the strike at the bell of dawn, strike at the crack of dawn. That's what I'm looking for. The crack of dawn. I thought the crack of dawn was a butt crack, and Dawn was the girl from Pokemon. And I was like, why are we attacking Dawn's butt crack? Doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. That's really dumb. Seems a little bit strange to attack her butt crack. I thought it was really stupid growing up, and I discovered it's as soon as Dawn cracks over the cracking is opening. It's you crack open a cold one. It's the crack. It's crack hit the black community in the 80s because of presidents trying to destroy the black community. This is disgusting. You hate to see it. Anyways, let's get into this. Am I the a-hole? Let's talk about it. Am I the a-hole? My dog died today, and my family still expects me to take them out to dinner tonight. Oh my god. I just want to say I'm sorry for your loss immediately. That is absolutely biblically insane. Hey, my dog, I love my dog a lot, and he died, and my family is saying, nah, they die every day. It doesn't really matter. Come on, let's go to Red Robin. That's really, I think that's so sad. That's so disrespectful towards your emotional state. I could immediately tell that you're not the a-hole unless the only way I could spin this to where you could possibly be the a-hole, and this is just me reading the title right now, I haven't read the story yet. The only way I could spin it is as if you just abuse your dog every day, and then they assumed you're responsible for the dog's passing, and so they're saying, well, you just abuse the dog every day. Why are you even sad the dog is gone? Doesn't make any sense to me. That's the only way I could possibly even fathom that they would even consider that. So here it goes. Thanks for reading my post. My dog passed away this afternoon. Oh, this is fresh. Oh, this is basically a day ago. So 13 hours ago. Yeah, it was sudden and awful, and I was with her when it happened. I've had her for years. She was basically my shadow. I'm completely wrecked. Yeah, dude. Like, dogs are a man's best friend, dude. Because this is the important thing. This is really powerful, too. Dogs don't value consent, so they're a man's best friend because men don't know about consent. Seems a little bit strange to be a little bit misandrous right now when he just lost his dog and partner. But it is important to bring up the difference between dogs and cats because someone had pointed out to me something I thought was really stupid. They said hate of cats is rooted in misogyny. And I said, why is that? If you've ever tried to pet a cat, you have to gain the cat's trust because cats value consent. Cats would love Dracula because Dracula values consent the most. Hence why a lot of people hate Dracula, because Dracula's entire thing is consent. Like, that's the whole thing. You have to accept Dracula into your home. You can't enter your house without that. The whole thing about Dracula is consent. It's a very powerful message about consent and allowing people into the home and using his manipulative prowess. It's very strange. A lot of weird arbitrary rules overall behind the entire thing. And that's why God hates Dracula, because Dracula values consent. And that's why Dracula is a woman's fantasy a lot of the time, because he is very loving. He did all the horror and destruction for his wife. It's like a whole thing. It's like an entire thing. But that's why dogs are a man's best friend, because dog, you can kind of just, I don't know, you can just put your hand anywhere on a dog, and dog's like, yeah, this is great, I'm getting touched. And cats are like, you better pet me in the very specific spot, or else I'm going to carpet bomb your family. I'm going to carpet bomb your family if you don't. That's pretty much how cats operate. So let's get back to the story. My family is visiting and staying at my home, and no less than an hour later, they started talking about dinner plans like it was a normal day. When I said I don't think I could go, I got hit with, it's just a dog and we leave tomorrow. So they're there for a limited amount of time, and I can understand that. But to be quite real with you here, why is your family not caring? Yeah, it's just a dog. You know, the Asian people, they eat dogs all the time, and they're just being racist, just right to your face. A little bit goofy. And to be quite real with you, I don't know if you've ever been to Korea. I was on Jeju, and on Jeju Island, they do eat horse ribs, and horse ribs do kind of crazy. There are different animals they eat in different countries. I'm pretty sure they do eat dogs and cats in Asian countries too. It's a very common thing. It's not really, because it's just animals. They're just animals to a lot of people. So not really sure what's going on there. Seems goofy though that your parents are just saying, yeah, it's normal day, dude. It's just a dog, dude. Pack it up, eat a banana, go home. You know what I'm saying? We get into the club tonight. The best way to get over an old dog is to get under a new one. Isn't that the isn't that the thing? I don't know. This is just a little goofy. We flew all the way out of town in order for you to not get dinner. So you're not gonna eat dinner. Is that what I'm hearing? Come on now. Yeah, your dog died, but you know what makes you feel good eating food? Eating dinner is delicious. I'll tell you that right now. I can't even think about food, let alone sitting in a restaurant pretending to be okay. We only gotta pretend to be okay. You can just enjoy this steak. It's ribeye. Come on, it's filet mignon. It's filet mignon. I'll pay for it. Come on, guys. Let's go ahead and eat. I try to explain that I'm not trying to make it a big dramatic thing. I just lost a living being I love, and I just need a minute. The response was based on not being overly emotional. They say, you are a baby. They say, hey, man, I'm going to keep it a stack. Would you keep it a bean? Keep it 100,000, bro. You're acting like a real pussy. That's real sad. Your family is so sad. That's such a sad thing, dude. I'm so sorry. I got in my car and booked a hotel room. I told them the cab stay at my place, but I wouldn't be seeing them today or tomorrow. Am I the a-hole? I don't know. That's really sad. That's depressing for your family because they're actively just being like genuinely unreasonable when it comes to understanding that you just lost somebody that is really important to your family. Dude, I cried over the One Piece ship. In One Piece, they lost the first ship and got a second ship, and I cried over that. So I can fully much understand. People cry over fictional characters. I know a guy in high school, and he cried when Itachi died. And I said, the murderer? The man who took out his entire clan? He said, yeah, but he was so cool. And at first I was thinking that's a little bit ridiculous, but I did cry over a ship. So to be fair, everybody has different emotional barriers and boundaries. That's just a little crazy. An edit. My brother's son dropped an Adderall pill while playing yesterday. We couldn't find the missing pill afterwards. It is likely that my dog ate it today while I was at work based on the systems the doctor described. What? What's up? Well, I'm sorry. This seems like such a random thing. Are you saying the dog died because he ate the Adderall pill? Is that what happened? I'm so confused. Is that what's being said? Is that the assumption happening here? I'm so sorry. What happened? So it's your family's fault the dog's dead? Why add this? This is the only assumption I could possibly conclude from this entire situation, is that the fact that the Adderall pill was eaten by the dog, and the fact that it just seems a little bit extra to add. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and read the comments. Not the a-hole, and honestly, F your family. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, that's a little bit. That's fair. They killed your dog. That's funny. And now they expect you to take them out to eat? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. You did the right thing, and my heart breaks for you. Just a dog. Monsters. Holy. I am so proud of you. This 60-year-old mom is dead. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to start reading the comments here. Let me say something real fast. Let me just say an aside. You're going to hate this opinion a lot. I think people put too much value on dogs, right? I think this is a very tragic and sad moment. Dogs are a valuable living being, and it's very important to have an animal, especially if you're emotionally lonely. But I think people value animals a bit more than humans a lot of the time, and that seems a little bit nuts. And it's purely from personal agency. A lot of things are very emotional responses when it comes to personal agency. And I'm not saying that dogs are less valuable. I want to point this out. I'm not saying dogs are less valuable. I love animals. I'm just saying that sometimes I think people think dogs are holier than thou, all dogs go to heaven mentality. I think that's the mindset a lot of people have. This family obviously is a little bit crazy, but I knew as soon as you mentioned that they didn't care about the dog, you would immediately have everybody on your side. And I just knew that was going to. You have me on your side for sure because your family's unreasonable. But I think there's a broader conversation to be had about how people view dogs. It seems a bit nuts to me. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm a little bit of an idiot. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. I'm gonna stop reading the comments and give my final thoughts. You are not the a-hole. Please go no contact with your family, please, because they seem a little bit psychotic and crazy about everything. But I'm simply one man on the internet. You can't just take my opinion for everything, and I'm pretty sure you got your answer on things. But let's see what my comment section thinks. We're off Reddit. We're on to YouTube. We're going to see how things go over here. Let me know how you guys feel about the entire situation. Are they the a-hole? Should they not care about their family? Or do they not care about their dog and care about their family? Or are they not the a-hole? Let me know. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your Nick and Night, be my Laurel Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.